Hello, everyone. Here from Mock Sporting House, Seattle. I am Sam Miljek. This is Kelvin Wallace, and we're here to watch 4 rounds of Exciting Legacy.
Oh yeah.
Have you? I guess this is the first time that we will be streaming with the new Modern Horizons.
Modern
cards.
Horizons, yeah.
So, pretty excited to see that.
So certain things are probably showing up. Prismatic Vista may show up. Probably a little bit Collector Oof with everyone trying to play Painter and Karn decks around here.
Maybe. I'm not sure. So, we know that Chris Wessel normally plays Pile, Grixis, something of that ilk. Our first round is him against Atesh. I think I've played against this player, and they were on Blue Red Delver.
Yeah,
maybe?
Blue Red Delver. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Delver Mirror. I've seen Chris testing the Arcanist Grixis build and jamming that a little bit. So the pretty standard light black slash for any discard effects. I think pretty much everyone's no fish. So just like some thought seizes, go with your Grixis, go with your Dreadhorde Arcanist, get some value, try to grind a little harder than normal Delver deck could.
Yeah. So, if you've played a lot of Delver.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you like the Delver matchup against the Grixis Pile type, realm of Legacy, or is that a tough matchup?
Generally, it's tough because the card Baleful Strix on its own can wreck a draw.
So I think Wessel actually told me tonight that he's playing Arcanus instead,
Oh,
or
yeah.
at least he's shaved very far down on Baleful Strix to fit Arcanus into his list.
Yeah, I think it's actually better.
It's better for him with doing that, or for Delver?
I think it's actually kind of the Arcanist deck. Well, Strix, you can wait out a Strix. You can kind of sit there, you can stare at it, and eventually you can bolt and start forcing through a bunch of damage, or you can go wide around with a Pyromancer. The thing with Arcanist is every turn it will start accruing value. You have like a Pyromancer facing an Arcanist, just flashback bolt, flashback push, it's dead. You cannot stare down an Arcanist, you will lose, because they attack basically every attack draws them a card. Even better if they're flashing back Ponders, Brainstorms, Preordains, etc.
Okay, so interesting. I actually, obviously I play almost exclusively Miracles, so for me, Arcanist is, miles away scarier than Baleful Strix.
Oh, yes.
But I was interested to see, I would think as Delver you'd rather, so that is almost certainly Blue Red
That
Delver,
is Blue Red
right?
Delver. Definitely see a Daze, Ponder, Brainstorm, Land. That is your Delver. Also could potentially feature an Arcanist.
Okay. And I think, he's probably on just Grixis, I'm betting.
Yes, I see a Colligan's Command, couple of Brainstorms, and so he's on the Inquisition Thoughtseize build to go with his own Arcanist. So if you see that out of Grixis, especially playing Inquisition instead of strictly Thoughtseizes, you can probably assume that they're on Arcanist as well.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so we've got Atesh on the play, which is, I guess, really important.
Especially it makes that Daze a lot better. There's one card in the middle of the hand. It's Spell Pierce.
Is that Pierce?
And there's an Arcanist too.
I was thinking that was either Pierce or True Name, because I think the art, some of the newer Pierces.
It's an excellent Pierce, pretty sure.
All right, he's showing us his hand. Oh, the other important thing that Chris was saying about his build tonight, because he's playing the Arcanist, he's obviously low on hymns as well. So he's not going to be getting those free wins from just nuking.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have to grind it out with Thoughtseize.
Yes, yeah. Generally, also a little low on cards like Spell Pierce, Spell Snare, like counter spells. So this is pretty sure it's going to be Land Inquisition. It's going to be fairly brutal for the Delver player, who's I think is only holding one threat.
You can just daze it, right? You said you had a daze.
Yeah, but so he's going to be behind no matter what happens.
I guess if it is Arcanist, that is actually impactful.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be. It's pretty sure it's going to be dazed, but then it'll be very far behind. It's never something you want to do. You always want to open on a threat if you're dazing.
Yeah, I guess you want to daze after, right? So you just have the pressure. Get actually to use the tempo here is just negative. Now he's just on the draw without the card.
Oh yeah,
on the draw on the mulligan.
Yes, drew Bolt. Bolt's not good in this matchup. It's fine because you have to hit Arcanist.
Now it's better because there's, I said, if my information from Chris is to be believed, he has fewer Strix and more Arcanists, which I mean.
Here comes Thoughtseize. He's probably Brainstorm and Spell Pierce. Instead of Spell Pierce or Brainstorm in response, just tuck it, or sacrifice something random.
Does he have the second landing? Oh, now he does for sure.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he had it all along.
All right, so I mean, you gotta just jam, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, why not? You're not okay. If you're open on Thoughtseize Inquisition, then they're not playing Daze.
Does he have anything? I guess we saw a Bolt, right? I was gonna say, does he have anything to do with the Arcanist other than because obviously you want to cantrip.
There's turn 1 Ponder.
Did he ponder turn 1?
Yeah, turn 1 Ponder.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think it's Ponder Preordain into Daze.
Okay.
Chris, I think still looking Colligan's Command. It's definitely been on the downswing because does not really effectively answer a lot of the cards in Modern Horizons. A lot of cards in War of the Spark. Especially Arcanist.
I'm trying to think if I don't think either of these decks I'm expecting to see any new Horizons cards.
No.
I don't think either of these are the ones that got pushed.
No. Oh, yeah, I can't think of any cards that probably show up. Ooh, yeah, Force. If you're not holding removal, the Arcanist can single-handedly beat you. So Force here, especially when you have days back, you can at least pay for a days, is probably expected.
All right, now Tesh's hand does not look very good. I mean, it's just cantrip, so it can never
Cantrips.
be bad, but
I like
it's...
at least one Brainstorm, another Fetch land. So that's probably 3 new cards. That's a Volcanic. That is going back.
The thing is, though, yes, he has cantrips, but every turn he spends kind of spinning his wheels is a turn that, you know, Wessel is closer to winning.
Yeah.
The control deck loves if both players just sit here doing nothing effectively.
Oh, yeah. I found another Arcanist and a Preordain. That's a pretty good Brainstorm. Get rid of 2 lands, and most likely just jam another Arcanist. And Chris holding a Calling Its Fan Brainstorm is not quite set up to answer that quite yet.
He's got the Brainstorm, so
The Brainstorm can find anything.
like we said, he's got Brainstorm Double Fetch, so he's probably fine.
Yeah, he's probably going to find something, but he's got to start looking now.
Let's see here. Do you Brainstorm now to try to find counter magic to stop the Arcanist? Are you banking on removal at this point?
Oh, I Brainstorm response just because what else are they going to do?
True. That Kolaghan's Command should probably go back. It's been looking really
very. Oh, his second one and a Bolt. So he's got the Arcanist covered now.
Okay.
Okay, Twisted Dragon 13 in chat. Yes, we have a couple of lands players, mainly our mainstay Lauren Mulligan, who plays lands almost every week.
I also know there's our resident Maverick player.
Oh yes,
Miranda did talking up Renin 6 out of Maverick, so we'll have to get her on the stream.
Oh yeah, I saw her sitting at one of the tables. She was invested in a playset. You saw her unpacking. It's like, she probably got some spicy stuff.
I don't know if anyone saw on the Legacy subreddit. She put a post about how impactful Renin 6 has been in that matchup. So hopefully we'll get that later in the thing. We'll get some nice Loams, Ren, something for the Lands fans.
Yeah. Preordain. Yeah, Chris on Preordain too. I think it's his own He's his own Arcanist.
Yeah, like I said, he is going that route. You notice by the fact that he had Inquisitions and Thoughtseize today, as opposed to normal him. I mean, I guess Thoughtseize is not out of normal, but Inquisition instead of him is out of the normal.
Certainly out of the normal. Can't take Jays, can't take Force, can't really interact with a lot of cards you'd normally see.
But importantly, it does get flashed back much more easily. Yeah. Although, yeah, we've said Atesh has had that bolt for like the entire game, right?
I mean, it's going to be good eventually. It looks like Chris has an Arcanist floating around somewhere on top of his library hand.
It's interesting they didn't choose to play it last. Like, what would you be waiting for?
I mean, he probably just wants to try to find something a little more resilient to removal. Because as soon as Grixis died, the Grixis controls has also been moving towards Narset.
Okay. So you just want to try to find a better threat?
I
mean, I would think... I guess right now he's set up to Kolaghan's Command something, right? Does he still have one of those in his hand? I'm assuming he didn't put both back, did he?
Maybe. I can't quite see. Chris being a little bit sneaky over there. Can't quite see his hand. He's been hiding it. Arcanist K command.
So you might just be planning on using the K command this turn.
Yeah. Probably just ends up try to answer a threat, bait any counter magic, attach maybe holding, and then just slam his own Arcanist and start pulling ahead that way.
I could see it. Although, I mean, I still really like the plan of playing the Arcanist this turn because you can play it through a daze, then untapping and having the K command live to return the Arcanist if it's destroyed.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's the line I would do personally. So more cantripping once again. Every turn we spend doing this is great for Chris.
Yeah, it looks like a Wasteland, Young Pyromancer, some sort of, I think it's another Preordain, and that may be a Trina Nemesis sitting in the middle of the hand.
Ooh, that's a good threat.
Trina Nemesis is certainly what you want.
See, the thing is now, because he didn't use the Kolaghan's Command, he just burned all that mana this turn.
Oh yeah. Jam. Pew.
So, Arcanist is not about to look very good in the face of this true name that's about to hit the table, though.
Yes. At the same time, Arcanist, I would definitely, if they're both at a high life total, I'm taking the Arcanist over the True Nemesis because I think I see at least 2 cantrips, also see a Bolt. So that Arcanist effectively attacks for 4.
Yeah.
And also gets first swing.
Well, it doesn't though, because if the true name hits the table, you can't swing with the Arcanist.
Oh,
what I'm
forgot.
saying.
It's just a 1/3 trample. Oh yeah.
So that's why I kind of like the idea of playing it last turn. You can play it through a daze.
Yeah.
Yes, it may get bolted, whatever. You then can pick it back up with the K command this turn through a daze.
Yeah.
If it gets answered. Otherwise, it gets to attack now, and he'd be Thought Seizing.
Oh yes.
If indeed it lived, and we know it wouldn't have because there's the bolt. But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the bolt went back. The bolt looked like it's been shuffled away. The red card in the hands of Young Pyromancer.
So maybe it wouldn't have been answered. So
Yeah, true name.
all right, this looks really bad for me.
Choose Chris.
I don't know what he can do to answer this.
It's usually one main deck edict.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure these decks are no longer Liliana the Veils and out. So if anything, there's either one main deck Liliana's Triumph, Diabolic Edict type effect, and maybe one Angrass Rampage is a card that's been showing up from War of the Spark.
That's cute.
I know you don't quite like that one, but like, hey,
It
sacrifices the
Planeswalkers.
Jace. Yeah, answers Planeswalkers. Also, it's 2-mana answer to Chalice. It isn't just a short target artifact.
That's actually kind of nice. So this is going to be nice. He does have the K command that he can finally get value off of to kill this Pyromancer.
Yeah.
But not before Atesh gets a token. I mean, the token's not worth much when he's got a 1/3 sitting there.
Yeah.
But the interesting factor about this, though, is the 1/3 in a weird way.
Bolt. Not in Colligan's command, just firing off a bolt.
In a weird way, this 1/3 checks the. He can't ponder.
Can't quite do that. Nope.
Okay,
That's better.
So that's what he was trying to do. Giving a little bit of information, but not a big deal. The Arcanist weirdly checks the True Name Nemesis because now Atesh probably does not want to swing with the True Name Nemesis because it lets Chris swing with the Arcanist, and I think that trade is advantageous for Chris.
And also, it's double bolt. So Arcanist could probably actually win the race.
True.
Depending on what he finds.
I mean, there's 2 1/1 tokens, so it's not going to win the race.
Not quite. Not quite.
Oh no, his trample. What am I talking about?
I mean, it's
the bolt effectively acts as trample anyway.
Yeah.
So.
It would probably be one of
Alrighty. I don't know. I still think I'd rather be on the True Name side of this, since he gets to choose when both players start attacking.
And also looking live Defined Lightning Bolt to start really swinging the race.
That's true. Yeah. So it's much easier for Atesh to remove the Arcanist than it is for Chris to remove the True Name. So yeah, everything's swinging kind of towards Blue or Delver, with the exception of that both players have 4 or 5 lands, and Chris is still at 17.
Oh yeah.
I guess 15 now.
So it looks like from the Vault Delver cantrip, and it takes a strong cantrip. Does not really care about the Delver. It's easily answered by the Colligan's command.
Yeah. Interesting. I still think Atesh is massively ahead in this game.
Yeah. I think so. Is that Terramander? Or is another Delver? No. Force. That one, the card in the middle. That looks like a Force Will. It looks like the Therese Nielsen Force Will.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Oh, land.
I don't know how important Force is in this board state. Both players are kind of on nothing.
This mode, and the next turn Force is hard cast. Was top 5. It's really not the worst in a board, it's all just a hard counter.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you're just trying to keep this True Name alive, all that matters is, I mean, that's basically what this game's about right now. Is this True Name blocking this Arcanist? As soon as this True Name leaves.
I don't put money. This Delver's very dead.
Yeah. I mean, does he have a blue card to go with the Force? Maybe it wouldn't be.
Looks like a cantrip. I'm pretty sure it has the Ponder that was revealed last turn. So no, that's a Scalding Tarn. It looks like a Scalding Tarn Force trying to hardcast next turn.
Okay.
Chris just draws.
See, he's just. I know that he's the control deck, but he's wasting a lot of mana here. I don't know if I like these lines. Like I said, I think he would have had a swing in with the Arcanist if he had just taken that line of dropping at the turn that he decided not to.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing the control deck, but here comes the Colligan's command. Or most likely targeting a Delver of Secrets.
Thank you for that, chat. We will try to be better about remembering.
Oh, okay. Here we go. We have our deck listing for the other decks in the room. Yep. Looks like... This is A-Sun.
Some sort of Stoneblade, probably.
Okay. Yeah, so Sean, coming back... Marilyn, the Moon Song, that card from Morning Tide that makes you Vampiric Tutor instead of drawing cards. And Life from the Loam. That's quite a combo, replacing your draws.
That's kind of sweet.
Yeah, it looks like we got Undoing Miracles, Bomberman, and got a copy of Doomsday. Oh, okay. AZ Stone's Azoria Stoneblade.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Makes sense. Got a couple. It looks like 2 copies of Stoneblade, Steel Stompy, more Stoneblade. Looks like 3 different copies of Stoneblade. Miranda is playing Maverick.
Well, I'm going to cut in there.
Yeah.
While we were looking at these decks, Atesh was able to find the Bolt, or find the removal spell of any rate, to get rid of the Arcanist, which unlocks the ability to attack with the True Name, and Chris scoops it up. So, out of the sideboard now, Grixis should get more Edict effects, right?
More Edict effects. Also looks like a Hydro Blast. I mean,
No,
all these
that's
cards look like they're hedges for the
that's-
Karn matchup. Those are Pyro
No,
Blast.
that's a Ceremonious
Yeah,
Rejection.
and then the Ceremonious Rejection, that's for the Karn matchup.
Yeah.
No one here likes that. That's Hydro Blast too.
Yeah, Hydro
Yeah.
has 3 Pyroblasts.
Is
Liliana.
it Plague Engineer?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I mean, because in other names, Elemental it hits all the tokens, hits Human, hits Pyromancer, and Delver of Secrets.
Or it, obviously
And
Merfolk.
Merfolk for I mean, if it's an Arcanist Mirror, if you name, I think it's a Zombie Wizard, it's now a 0/2, and its ability doesn't actually work because its power is 0 and can't flash back anything. Oh my. Okay, we have a deck in the room called Big Pig.
So that's going to be the
Ilhard?
Raise Board.
Yeah, Raise Board.
It's going to be like a fast red.
We got Matt on land tax. I get it.
I play against it. So that's the Rest in Peace Helm kill
Oh.
with land tax and Scroll Rack.
Oh,
It's,
jeez.
it's better known as Parfait, or at least
Yeah.
previously known as
Okay,
Parfait.
yeah.
So
That's a blast from the past.
yeah, he's been playing that for a couple weeks now. That at least I'm aware.
Yeah. So we got a Rug Delver, Chris, Andres Grixis, and also we have a Shardless Rug in the room. It's probably trying to take advantage of that Crashing Footfalls, the new Modern Horizons card in Ancestral Vision.
I've seen people messing around with that. It feels like not the most impactful thing you could be
Cascading
into. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
2 4/4s is good in the fair
Well, it's-
matchups.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. Well, it's 2/4/4 like. And also, you can flashback to Arcanist, because Arcanist does work with suspend spells within the yard.
I guess it's 10 power for 3 mana. That's not the
I
worst.
think it's. Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. But also,
Ooh,
if you go.
flashing it back,
So you can flash it back. So if you got. I mean, if you open like Suspend, you can attack with an Arcanist, and that can flash back either your Rhinos or your Ancestral Vision. Just draw 3 cards.
All right, so it seems like we have a lot of kind of cool, sweet new
Some
things to get
spicy
on
things.
camera on camera tonight. But back to the match at hand. We saw what Chris was bringing in. I feel like Blue Red Delver, just is more of a streamlined deck. It's not going to have as much to bring in. Like, I don't think you bring in things like Price of Progress. Chris showed a bunch of basics that.
Oh yeah, Chris probably is bringing the Red Blast as an answer to True Name. I think he's probably bringing the Plague Engineers as Plague Engineer single-handedly answers any creature in the Delver deck.
Okay, so weirdly he's taking out some of his.
He had a Force of Negation.
Yeah, I see it. He's trying to decide what the last thing that he's not.
He's on the play, so I think he's bringing Thoughtseize back in and cutting it for he's bringing Thoughtseize back for an additional Force.
No, I think Thoughtseize is the last cut. Is what it looked like to
I
me.
think the Thoughtseize went back in the main deck and he took out another Force.
Okay, I might have been.
It also looked like he had at least he looked at either a sideboard Force Negation that he rethought, or he had a main deck Force Negation.
It feels like the sort of main deck card. I don't feel like it's. I've been seeing a lot of people. Anyone who's been playing Spell Pierce, I've been seeing those decks at least try out Force of Negation as a better, more of a hard counter early.
Oh yeah. But also, I mean, it's a little bit better than Forceful. It's also something that just dissipate. It's just 3 mana and post a 5 mana counter spell.
I have had the annoyance though of online Force Negationing like Show and Tell or something with a Surgical in hand and just really wanting it to
Brutal.
not exile. So
Brutal.
that double-edged sword there.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris gets to be on the play this time, which I feel like is really important in
Or
this
it
matchup.
makes the discard a lot better.
Let's see what those opening hands look like.
So Narset, at least one
Nope.
fetch land.
I was gonna say, okay,
2 fetch lands. Liliana the Veil,
this looks
Fatal Push.
like a great hand to me.
That is very strong.
Does he have a cantrip or anything to find his third land? He does not.
Oh, he does not.
I think he might have only had the one. I only saw that one
It
spell.
was going turn. I think it may have been 2. I think one was foil, one was not foil.
Okay.
So I think it's that 2. But
All
then
right. What does Atesh have? They have
a Force
of,
Volcanic.
no, is that a Bolt or Volcanic? That's Volcanic.
That's Volcanic. And then we see another Polluted Delta.
Is that a Pyromancer
I
or
think
a
that's
Faithless
that's a Pyromancer. I mean, it does look like Faithless Looting, but I think that's probably a Pyromancer. Then Arcanist on the left edge of the hand.
Okay. Okay, so here's.
That's an Arcanist, a Preordain, blue producing land, fetch land. That looks
That's a
very
swamp,
keepable.
maybe at the end.
Yeah, it looks like a swamp.
Okay, so yeah, definitely keep this because you got red, you
Very
got
nice.
blue, you got black. Oh no, it's an island.
Oh, it's an island. Very nice. And a Preordain, so you can set yourself up a little bit.
So he might not have black though.
I'm pretty sure that was. Yeah. I can't quite see this card is. I don't think you need it. And this is not the hand really. Black's not that necessary. Oh, I think it's a true name of his own and a Liliana the Last Hope.
Okay.
I don't really like Liliana the Last Hope right here, especially when you're probably struggling for your first black. Ooh, top.
I mean, it is one of
Gutsy.
the best cards in the matchup if you can get it into play.
It's probably improved a little bit by just returning your own Arcanist is probably a fairly strong play.
Tesh goes for the island.
It's probably just a cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the time in this matchup, slamming turn 1 Delver is usually not the way you want to go because it's not a really resilient threat.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering. It's interesting to me how much the printing of Arcanist has pushed this blue-red Delver deck to having like the critical CMC being 2, not 1.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really like that. Like you were saying, when your threats are all 2 mana, it makes your dazes so much worse.
Yes.
So they do have the turn 1 Delver.
Ooh, slam it. Oh, force.
Okay.
That seems like a good one to target.
I mean, basically him to Turok without needing black mana.
Yeah, but also, so one thing about Arcanist is it really brings you away from playing reactive cards. So cards are sometimes played in this deck like Stifle, Spell Pierce, Spell Snare. No longer viable in this deck because they don't do anything if you're trying to leverage Arcanist, and the card is just it's just a blank 1/3.
I was actually listening to blanking on the name of the podcast, but Bryant Cook and Wilson Hunter.
Oh, Tess. I think Infernal Tutoring is usually their series.
Eternal Dirtling.
Eternal Dirtling, yeah.
Anyway, whatever their podcast is called.
Eternal Dirtles.
They were saying that, or Wilson Hunter and Bryant were arguing that they really didn't like Arcanist in the Blue-Red Delver builds. I mean, they like it in kind of a control-y type shell like Chris is playing, but in the Blue-Red Delver builds, because it incentivizes you to push away from those really impactful tempo cards
Yes.
and become more of a grindy thing, which isn't what you necessarily want to be doing with that sort of stuff. That you're kind of fighting yourself with the build of the deck.
It's because the thing about Delver is you get a lot of advantage by making your opponent spend mana and then answering it for 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So if your opponent just tries to slam a 3 mana play and you spell pierce it for 1 mana while also advancing your board.
There we go, Eternal Glory.
Eternal Glory. Thank you, chat.
But yeah, their argument was basically that it's, while a very impactful card, fights with what the main plan of the deck is, so that people are building around it, obviously, but you're all of a sudden kind of either you want to have a Delver hand or you want to have an Arcanist hand, and when you have the wrong threat with the wrong half, you end up with these really weird game states, and that it's much better to just be all on tempo threats.
Yes.
Or if you're going to play something like Arcanist, push much more towards the controlling end of the spectrum.
Or
where it's going to be really impactful.
It's only played out of the sideboard.
That being said, it's looking really good in this deck right now.
Oh, yeah.
Although, I mean, I guess Young Pyromancer would be, like 2 Young Pyromancers would be just as brutal right now.
Oh, yeah.
Against what
it looks like the Brainstorm is land, Force of Will. So it looks like the hand is going to be Island Force Will. In 2 turns, the Force Will is going to be online, but that is certainly not what the Delver player wanted to see off the Brainstorm. And flash it back.
Yeah, they get to attack with the Arcanist, Brainstorm right now, get another token, and maybe clean up that hand and get the Force Will live right now.
I was looking at Braid. It's like land, Braid, Force Will, second Young Pyromancer.
Well, we know that Braid is really good because Chris just returned his own Arcanist with the Kolaghan's Command this turn. So
I think that one's definitely I would definitely hide that one on top of the library. Try to dodge some discard. You're not casting that this turn, so I would definitely try to tuck it.
Yeah.
And there's the Thoughtseize. So if the Braid is in the hand, Atesh could certainly be punished here.
This is the second black. Did we see?
I think it's Liliana the Last Hope.
I was going to say, did Chris keep the Liliana last turn?
Oh, yeah. Because it was on the pre-range top.
This is very good for Chris. This is the one thing that probably...
This is certainly something that I would Force a Will.
Can Atesh? I don't think they can.
Yeah, I see the Force Will. I mean, if that was on the table, I think the Force Will would have been fired off.
Yeah.
Because then you would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 power against an empty board.
And now that a Braid is looking much worse.
Braid's looking much worse, yes.
What's interesting here, I think you had brought up this interaction earlier. This, I mean, assuming that there wasn't the token, so Chris is going to have to clean up the tokens first, but at the point that the tokens are dealt with, or he has a blocker or anything like that, Liliana can actually just negate the effectiveness of,
Exactly.
Arcanus by just taking its power down below where it's
Take it down to 0. Because there is no like a suspend or 0 mana spells that the Delver deck can really gain value off of.
So what's interesting is I think we're going to end up in the opposite of the board state we had last game, where this time Chris is going to have the true name, which
That
is
was
going to stop the
That was a
Arcanist.
fatal push. Fatal push is a good draw because now the Liliana can answer the board. So he pushes any one of the threats, kills a token with Liliana, then we have a 1/1 against Liliana on 2, which is not going to last long. Looks like, yeah, push Thoughtseize, True Name Arcanist.
I think I go true name, make sure it resolves through days, and then
Yeah.
try to push the Arcanist. I think that's my line.
At the same time, you could also open on, so you can open on Thoughtseize first, try to take Counterspell, and then push whatever threat after he sees the hand is not quite good. If he sees the hand, he's most likely going to probably take the Abrade and slam the Arcanist into open mana. So I definitely open on Thoughtseize here, because you can triple spell if he opens on Thoughtseize, takes whatever interaction there may be.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, that seems like a good line. So Thoughtseize, take any interaction that could stop the Arcanist. The Arcanist by itself can stop the 2 tokens,
Yes.
and then Liliana can answer the other Arcanist.
Yes.
Or I guess,
Or you can push the Arcanist to eat a token.
yeah.
There you go. I think he's yeah, Chris leading on Thoughtseize. I'm pretty sure the young Pyromancer is fairly dead here, so I'm pretty sure the Thoughtseize is going to go after the Abrade, as Chris is going to try to leverage his own Arcanist to start pulling ahead in this game.
Yeah, I can't imagine any line other than that being right.
Because yeah, young Pyromancer, there's no spell to cast, so that just gets eaten by Liliana. Force of Will, I'm pretty sure the 5th land is on top, so Force of Will is going to be live next turn, but I don't think Chris cares.
Yeah, everything he's going to need to resolve. I mean, it means his true name doesn't resolve next turn, but I don't know that he cares about that much when he already has the Arcanist going. Although, actually, that's not true, because the Arcanist attacks, flashes back the Thoughtseize, takes the Force, and then
Yes.
true name resolves.
True Name resolves. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tesh's Arcanist is about to eat it. Just take a push to the face right here.
Yeah, so I think Chris might be seeing the line that we were
Pew
talking
pew.
about.
And triple spell here. Very strong, yeah. Eat a token, play your own Arcanist. Now the board is answered and Tesh is very far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I think pretty sure this is a 5th land that was put back with the Brainstorm. It's a basic mountain.
Okay. Yeah, they don't really have much to do here.
I mean, you just got. I don't think there's any reason to play the Pyromancer until you can at least find a cantrip and generate value immediately if it resolves.
It just dies when.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's just land go.
The problem is if you don't play the Pyromancer, Chris just Thoughtseizes out of your hand.
Yeah.
Although, actually, Chris, because it's so answerable with Liliana, Chris still might just take the Force.
Yeah. But at the same time, if you represent Force and then you let the Thoughtseize resolve, then Chris is probably inclined to take the Force and try to resolve any spell.
Oh, it's a true name, right?
Yeah, as well as True Name.
And unlike Chris, who gets the access to black mana, I don't think Atesh can take a true name off the table.
No, yeah, the blue-red, any sort of blue-red, any sort of deck that's not black and or white has a very hard time answering True
The
Name.
only thing I could think of is if you have like Curfew or something
Curfew.
for
Also, Road to Delver used to play a card called, what was it called? It was a shock that if you had Ferocious active, damage couldn't be prevented.
Oh, yeah.
So if you
yeah. All right. So
this is probably a good time to concede. Certainly respect the concession here, but save some time on the clock.
So far we've seen the player who gets, well, actually both times the player who first resolved an Arcanist has lost.
Oh,
which is
yeah.
kind of interesting. Maybe you don't want to bully.
Looks like Vapor Snag, Tormod's Crypt, Rough Tumble. Looks like they're Narset of their own and 2 Pops. I don't think Pops can be relevant here because Chris, the games aren't super long, so I don't think he's even getting close to like 7 or 8 lands. He's probably going to be on 4, 3 of which are basic because he's playing on Wasteland anyway.
Yeah.
I think I just saw main deck Pyromancer Ascension in the Delver deck. That's a spicy one. I'm not sure how good that is.
I don't think I've seen. Well, I do know that I've played against Atesh before, mostly in Modern.
Wow.
So it does feel like maybe tech coming over from the Modern Phoenix deck, basically.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see some bolts.
Similar, like, kind of play styles.
Hydroblast. It's certainly that's definitely a Pyromancer Ascension.
Okay. That's interesting.
I mean, like I said, the Grixis deck is very weak to that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they beat.
I think the only
Hydro Blast.
Hydro Blast Limited, and that's only assuming Chris actually boarded in, because a lot of the red cards are not what the Grizzly cares about.
But I mean, it answers Arcanist, so I
Does
think you
answer
bring it in.
Arcanist.
So at the worst,
Yeah.
and it answers Pyromancer.
Yeah.
So I do think if I'm Chris, maybe not that last game because you hadn't seen Pyromancer yet.
Yeah.
But definitely now I have.
At the same time, your lightning bolts and your fatal pushes also answers every single card that Chris thinks, because. But also, the only upside you get from a Hydro Blast is that it counters a Lightning Bolt, but that's probably never the card Chris really cares about.
No.
So Chris may just be more on the I'm just gonna not bring a Hydro Blast, be on the Fatal Push plan because they do basically the same job from Chris's perspective.
Well, he's on the draw this game.
I see Blast in the deck. Yeah, I see Hydro.
I was gonna say he's on the draw this game, so I would rather have Blast than one of the Thoughtseize effects, just because there's more. It's more likely you're gonna need to start answering stuff on the table.
Oh yes. I think it's like at least one Snappy, Pyroblast, Preordain, Narset's coming out. That definitely makes sense on the draw because that's much more likely to get either Spell Piercer Dazed and really just be a waste of your 3 mana.
Yeah, so I think that force that went out on the play has come back in, and now we've lost.
No, that's a sideboard. Oh, looks like he's brought in Null Rod.
No, this is what's out. This is not what's out.
Yeah, it's a sideboard. It's just for let's see what cards he brought. Yeah, so you can bring Spell Piercer. Looks like a Spell Piercer is coming back in.
Is there? I mean, I guess there's a lot of card nonsense happening.
There's a whole lot of card nonsense. There's even a Miracles deck that has a whole lot of card nonsense in this.
I guess that's true.
So that has a card.
Okay, so yeah, we do have a Steel Stompy in the room.
Painter.
There's a Painter in the room.
I don't know. That's just not Sneak. Show
There's a lot of Stoneblade, which is not the worst card.
Yeah, Null Rod's certainly fine against Stoneblade. There's also a Food Chain deck.
There's a Bomberman as well, as always, and I don't think it does anything against most of the rest of this field.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well. Interesting choice, but I kind of like it.
Oh yeah. If you ever on the Thursdays, I think there's 4 dedicated Bomberman players been playing it for the last weeks. I mean, okay, that looks like a Wasteland in the hand. Oh, it's going back. I didn't quite see what was in the hand, but pretty fast mulligan.
Yeah, it's definitely a meta call, but I've been playing a Hercules Recall instead of a second Disenchant on Thursdays.
I've been playing Serenity. It's been good. It's never been bad. No, it's even good against. It's even decent against lands. It's like
healthy format.
Yeah, blow up your Exploration, your Moxime, and a couple of your clues.
Well, they probably care less now that they have was it Academy Ruins? For,
it's not. No, it's a Stronghold. Volrath Stronghold started the cycle. Excuse me. Stop it. And it's Hall of Heliod's Generosity, and that is probably not the best news for as a Miracles player.
Yeah.
You see it get choked. Choke, and then they'll get it back, and then choke, and then they'll get it back, and then they'll choke.
I mean, you were already on Back to Basics or Bust in that matchup, so it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, back to the match at hand. Is that a 6-card hand?
Yes, there was a quick mulligan.
All right, so they mulligans and.
It's a weird looking card. I see at least one Preordain. Looks like a Spell Pierce, Lightning Bolt. The weird looking card, like I can't quite see. There may be a Full Art Mountain. Can't quite see what that is.
The one right in the middle.
Yeah, next to the Preordain.
I think it might be an island actually, like one of those.
The Amonkhet Islands. Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Preordain. Probably the best start that Delver decks actually want now. Instead of a lot of the decks just want to have a cantrip in the yard so they can play turn 2 Arcanist and get immediate value out of it.
Yeah, I think I would still rather go turn 1 Delver, get it answered, go turn 2 Arcanist, hopefully then it sticks, and then immediately just go cantrip on turn 3 and attack without any lag.
It's it looks like bottom draws a Braid. Probably not what a touch was looking for.
So I think it's just going to be cantrips passing back and forth. I don't see any black discard. I do think I see the Plague Engineer, though.
That card is fairly strong. Okay, what do you think? Putting Engineered Plague on a creature, good or bad design choice?
I think it's less about it being on a creature and more about it being one-sided.
Oh, yes. I've been very annoyed at Wizards keeps putting one-sided hate creatures.
I think they've literally said Someone I saw on Reddit posted something. It might have been like the Morrow, what's it, Tumblr, whatever he answers questions on.
Blogatog?
Where they literally said that two-sided effects are just not what they're doing anymore. Like it's not like it's a conscious choice to avoid it.
I know, and I think it's kind of annoying because, like, honestly, the fun part about lock pieces is you always had to build your deck in order to utilize them. Like, you couldn't just play Trinisphere in a control deck with trying to play cantrips. Like, haha, you can't play cantrips, but now I can. The same thing with Chalice. You can't just go Chalice on one against your Brainstorm deck and Brainstorm yourself. Like, that was the fun
yes,
about
you can.
it.
You just play counterbalance.
So exactly, that takes some work though, and it costs blue. So you also do have the counterbalance. You have to build your deck
With a bunch of 1-mana spells.
a bunch of 1-mana spells and also a bunch of islands to make it good. So you still actually have to build your deck around your hate piece.
I guess that's true.
But I'll say at least the Collector Oof is two-sided, because if that was one-sided, there'd be some.
Well, the Karn is one-sided, right?
The Karn is one-sided, but he's not the 4-mana Planeswalker, not a 2/2 creature that you can find up Green Sun Zenith. Like I say, yeah, well, Vintage is already falling apart, but even more falling apart if the Collector Oof is one-sided.
I think Tesh has both blasts in hand.
I mean, that's probably where you want to be.
Is that a True Name on the far left? Or that's a Pierce, right?
That's a Pierce. That is certainly
this is a very reactive hand for Delver deck. So I think
it's certainly not the place you really want to be. You want to get a threat in play and then have the reactive hand.
Yeah, I think if we're going to sit here and play this reactive game, Chris is more than happy to do that. Because his deck is just going to win as we go along.
Because he actually has proactive spells. The cards like Thoughtseize, it probably has less of them in the deck, but that's something proactive that he can cast without having to react.
Also, Atesh's hand does not answer the Plague Crafter. Or Plague Carrier?
Plague Engineer.
Plague Engineer.
I think Plague Crafter is something else. Can't quite remember what that one does. No land. Okay, never mind. I think I replaced that. It's like Ponder Colligan's Command and then some other cards.
Well, did he not have a land? Because Chris was on the draw this game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had it a Scalding Tarn. It's a Delta. Not the best draw, but I'll take it.
I think Atesh has a Brainstorm, so maybe they can find a threat. Although, if they have to Brainstorm the threat, they then can't protect it with their Pierce and Blast effects, so they might still be another turn away from actually getting to start the the beats.
But also, even especially the new Blue-Red Delver deck it's not quite as good with the reactive game, because you don't have a lot of the cards you normally have because you're trying to play Arcanist, which is more of a proactive threat.
Yeah.
But that's why the blasts are good, because they both act as a counterspell or a removal, depending on what's in play.
I mean, you still need your opponent to be doing stuff for that to be like it's still reactive, even if it is a removal spell.
Yeah. At least that's a little better.
It looks like a Delver, so at least there's a threat now.
From the Vault Delver.
That might be a True Name behind the Delver, actually. So that's a much better threat.
Yes. Well, that Delver, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Delver is going to be bait. Delver's going to probably eat some sort of interaction, and then try to force the Delver, force the True Name to the next turn. And this Delver is most likely flipping too.
Yeah, I think I like this Delver. Try to defend it with the Blue Blast if they bolt it. Because I believe Chris has a.
Chris is holding Force of Will. I don't care. He has a Call Against Man. He probably just doesn't care about the Delver. He's like, I can take 3.
Yeah, that's what I would do. My favorite thing in the world is just ignoring a Delver.
Well, that's a grip of cards right there. It looks like 2 Arcanists, a Lightning Bolt, couple lands, Call Against Command, Plague Engineer, Spell Pierce, Force of Will. Chris is, I think he's sitting pretty, but he has a little bit of more proactive hand.
I think I put Bolt Arcanist back, try to resolve one of the Arcanist, or maybe.
Definitely Call Against Command is one to go back.
Okay. I like the Call Against Command as a waiting answer to the Delver. I'd rather, if you can resolve it, I'd rather resolve that than Bolt.
Yeah. I think he's holding 2 bolts and probably can get the read that a Spell Pierce is lurking.
I guess that's true. Atesh is, based on the fact that Atesh has done basically nothing this game, Chris should be reading a handful of counter magic.
Oh yeah.
So do you play out the Arcanist into the hand of counter magic, or just Bolt?
I would lead on Bolt. Because Arcanist against a Delver, I don't know. Like I was on the control side. I definitely think just trying to answer at sorcery speed and preserve your life total is probably what you want to do.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like it's very limited investment. It's not like his interaction right now on Atesh's turn is Force of Will, and you can in this matchup it's basically a 1-mana spell because you're trying to get it through a daze. Most likely, but now you have to probably fight through a Pyroblast.
Yeah, Tesh was on the play, right? So
Yeah.
they probably have days in the deck this game.
Spellpierce. I would have probably tried to Spellpierce back. That's very strong from Chris. What do you think? Spellpierce over Blue Blast?
Yeah, I think I'd rather Spellpierce. How often is the Delver deck really going to tap out?
What else? Yeah, I would probably keep the Blue Blast because Spellpierce can answer Narset. So the Blue Blast does not quite do that much.
This is brutal though. The True Name's going to resolve, and there's a blast of each type to.
Oh, yeah.
No, but importantly, Chris has a black card that answers it if he still is holding that Plague Carrier, Plague Engineer, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Chris, this is very sketchy to force will, but yeah.
Does he? Yeah, so Chris does have a black mana.
He has a black mana. I think he's just jamming, name Merfolk, play his own, run away with the game.
Well,
boom. Modern Horizons count 1.
There we go. First.
Well,
I guess we saw a Force of Negation be boarded out. But this is the first one we've actually seen enter play.
Name Rogue. Name Rogue.
I don't know. It doesn't matter which one you name because there's no overlap between True Name and any other creature in the deck. I mean, I kind of wish if I'm Chris that I got to name Human or something that is going to have more of an impact. This is just going to get blasted.
This is maximum punishment. So Tesh drew a second True Name.
Oh, so now it's beautiful.
Plague Engineer is very strong. So answers all the True Names.
Well, Tesh does have Brainstorm, so it's not the end of the world. I mean, not right now, but in the deck.
I would definitely not let this Arcanist resolve, because letting this Arcanist resolve is how you really get buried.
Well, I mean, the Blue Blast can answer now or later, depending on when.
Yeah. But I would certainly kill it.
I don't know why you'd let it hit play. No. It just seems like playing with fire. Alright, didn't see the draw.
Braid.
Was it Braid?
That is certainly not the worst. Probably end step is going to try to answer this Plague Engineer.
And then untap True Name again?
Try to play True Name. But I think that True Name... Oh, no, you have to fire this off in response. I think the Braid's the best card in your hand here, but it's probably most likely going to eat a Force of Will.
Well, I mean, I think I just let the Abrade happen with the Plague Engineer. It's already killed the True Name. And then at that point, the Inquisition just takes the True Name. It doesn't matter.
The Blast. Blast, certainly not the best card here. Yep.
Blast, when you're aware of it, is way less impactful. Because you can just... I mean, to be fair, it's going to be hard to find a window where Tesh doesn't have red, but...
Oop. Value. Very nice, Chris. That's a good draw. That's exactly what you want off of here. That's why you play your cantrips. That looks bad. That looks like land. At least 2 lands.
So I think this is exactly what we were saying about if the Delver deck doesn't have pressure, it's just... And having all these 2-mana threats mean that you just often don't have the early pressure before you have to start interacting with your opponent's hand. I don't know. I don't like the way Arcanist works in this Delver deck. I think I agree with the guys I was talking about earlier. Like, I can see the flaw. Like, it's obviously a powerful card, but I see the flaw in this build.
I don't like it. I've always been more of a Stifle, Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, aggressively dazed cantrips kind of Delver player.
Yeah.
And, like, even when Death Rat Shaman was legal, I was putting 3 Stifles, 3 Spell Pierces, and cutting down on hand interaction because I wanted to force my opponent to play cards into my counter magic and really generate tempo instead of spending mana and getting top decked.
Yeah. It's a fatal push now too. That's...
I don't think Tesh can really come back from this because
the next threat gets pushed. Well, unless it's a True Name, but then that gets forced. And now the Arcanist train starts rolling.
And Chris is drawing. It's like 2 and 2 1/4 cards every turn. First, it's like the second is successful Arcanist trigger.
Yeah, and the fist pump to go along with it.
Oh yes, Ponder. That's a good one. Red Blast. That is a red elemental blast.
I think I'm gonna call this game at this point because there's the Force in hand and now Blast defended
and a Bolt.
So this game is basically over. It would take an amazing string of draws, I think, for Atesh to come back here.
I can't think of any string of draws because all the cards that you can really get ahead with are blue. All the cards that Chris can't really
Well,
interact with
I mean-
are generally blue.
The things.
And that either gets forced or dies to red. Red elemental blast. Now it's a Liliana. I don't even cast a Liliana. Oh.
I mean, why not?
I mean, like,
You can get the Plague Engineer back.
that's a good point. I would do that just for the sweetness.
Oh, all right. There is the concession.
How much time we got left?
Right.
6 minutes.
Yes.
So,
All right. I don't think we'll be able to get a second match in 6
No.
minutes.
I don't know.
Do you want to go out and take a look, see if there's anything, or I can? Why don't you?
I can definitely find some people to. I would not
go-
bet on it, but I can take a look.
Yeah.
I can definitely get some people to canoodle on camera, though.
All right. Hey, chat. So we have the deck list in here today. Sorry, give me 1 sec. Sorry for anyone's ears there. The only decks, obviously, we saw Arcanist. I think the other cards that, I guess that's a ward card now, not even like a Modern Horizons. The thing that I'm expecting to see the most of in this room is Ren and 6. That's the thing that I've seen people be really excited about. Is there any particular card, any sort of decks that you think the chat really wants to see? I think we had one call for lands, right?
Get Greg and Patrick playing camera.
All right, we're gonna get some Canlander on the camera for a second while we're waiting for the rounds. If it turns over, we'll get it off. Shardless Rug, Food Chain. There is actually a Food Chain player in the room, so if we can, we should try to get them on camera for you. Don't see too much Food Chain. Did they get any pumps? Like what is the name? Food Chain Vintage Oath? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get any Vintage Oath on camera, unfortunately. Greg, Kiesel group, I think, are currently on Canlander as their.
I got something fun.
Alright.
I got Greg versus Patrick, Canlander.
Alrighty. So let's go down to the match thing. So obviously this is just for fun. We don't know what this is. This is still looks like Chris and Atesh deboarding.
Yeah. It looks like, I'm pretty sure Greg was on some sort of green-white creature deck, and Patrick on a lands type thing, playing Tabernacle. He's got some new mono cards. He's playing Prismatic Vista.
I think I've seen this.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
So it seems like maybe we'll have to get that next round, possibly. All right.
I mean, there's
So yeah, looks like we might not be able to get that on after all. We've been told by the TO there's only 3 minutes left. Probably just gonna keep it clear.
Yeah, no, it's
Come
3
back to
minutes.
the booth.
Yeah, I think it's 3 minutes. It's also like 5. I think I saw 5 different matches.
Interesting.
3 or
Well,
4 matches. So yeah.
I think with all these cards like Dreadhorde that have been printed that kind of incentivize more grindy playstyles. Like I said, we had that Delver deck that was going grindier. Whether or not that's to its detriment, it was going grindier. We're probably going to see quite a bit of that happening tonight. Although we do have a Food Chain player in the room.
Oh, I do like Pujin. Also, I want to see some Shardless. Cascade is quite a fun one.
What did I guess it's the Rhinos, right? The Crashing Rhinos. That's what
I'm pretty sure it's Crashing. The
That's the
Crashing
draw to the deck.
Footfall.
Okay.
You get 2 4/4s with
Yeah,
trample.
we were talking about that earlier. So
Yeah.
that's.
I think it's a spend 4 if you're not cascading to a spend 5 or something.
What is what's its plan against the unfair decks? Like obviously I understand how that beats the fair decks in the room.
well,
but what's it do? Like
You probably are playing some number of Narset.
I
I mean,
guess.
because you can't play 2-mana counter spells. You can't play 3-mana counter spells. So the only
You
counter
can play
spells you
3
can play.
mana. You can play 3 mana ones because you.
You play Blood. So if you're playing Rug, you're playing Bloodbraid Elf.
Okay.
Because if you're playing red, you are playing most likely Punishing Fire kind of build, and you're playing Bloodbraid Elf. But if you were playing Bug, you'd be playing Hymn to Tarak.
Okay.
So if you're on Rug, you are playing Bloodbraid Elf, which means Force of Negation is not the card you really want to be cascading into.
I don't know. I feel like maybe you just don't play Blood Ray. It doesn't feel like a very good
Yeah,
card.
I don't know.
Right now. I think I'd rather have Force of Negation if I'm going to be. I need because when you lose the black and you're going to a Rug Shardless instead of a Bug Shardless, you're going to lose to the unfair decks if you don't have discard.
Yeah.
Like that's just what is going to
Yeah,
happen.
I would much rather be on the black.
Yeah, exactly. Don't play Blood Ray. That seems
I
terrible.
don't think it's good, but
So Yeah.
Yes, Andy, I do agree. Ren and 6, very nice.
So we're gonna. There's a couple of decks we want to try to get on. So I personally, I don't know if anyone else has saw it, but Miranda has been talking up Ren 6 like crazy on Reddit and pretty much anytime anyone has a conversation with her. So I'd really like to get that on
But
camera.
so is Connor. Connor Foles, the person who's casting last week, has also been really hot on Ren and 6. He's
That's more of
posting all over Facebook about how he's been going mad streaks, like 17 and 3 runs on MTGO playing aggro alone with Ren and 6.
I don't know. It seems really like I understand that the upgrade from Loam is the subtle thing where you still get your draw step,
Yes.
and I understand that that's important, but it seems like a very minor upgrade.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that it's had that
But
massive
it's
of an effect. On
also
steps.
removal. I think the
I mean,
aggro alone
kind
deck
of
was kind of
removal.
playing clunky removal.
I mean,
also just
doesn't it just fight
ping.
for space with Punishing Power?
I think it was fighting for space with Assassin's Trophy.
Okay. I did not see it, Andy.
Oh yeah. Kills Delvers, YP
Well,
snaps,
I mean,
Dark
It
Confidants.
kills unflipped Delvers.
Yeah.
So if you're on the play, it kills a Delver.
Well, you cast it on turn 1 because you're playing Mox Diamond.
Well, not if you're playing Maverick, though.
Oh, yeah, Maverick. No, Maverick. You should be all play Mox Diamond. Card's great.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope we don't see lands players jamming it, because I don't think it's good in lands. That's the one thing. I think it's really good in these Aggro decks, things that need their draw step, but lands just wants to draw more lands. So that would be the one spot that, like, I know that everyone's talking it up, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Hall of Heliod Generosity is probably the
biggest upgrade there.
Is the biggest upgrade for the lands deck. Because also, a lot of the times you stall out in the late game because you can only play one land per turn. So you have 7 cards in hand. You can play one land per turn. Well, what the Hall does is it allows you to actually rebuy your explorations and your mana bond without taking a draw step and trying to miss.
Okay.
So
I don't know.
Because like in the late game, there's sometimes 6 relevant cards you actually want to draw, so you have to take a draw step, but your odds aren't great.
Yeah.
But it allows you to actually rebuy a enchantment, or just to keep aggressively loaming, and then aggressively loaming, find your explorations, find your mana bonds.
So there's actually 2 players, I think, playing Rug Delver in this room today as well.
Rug Delver is best Delver.
3 players playing Rug Delver.
Rug Delver is best Delver.
Is Ren 6 also being played in Rug Delver right now? Is that the?
I think it's more of a sideboard card. It's more a value card.
All right.
Okay, here we go.
Let's get Miranda on FG1 because I'd like to see that or the food chain player, which is Aubrey Poison.
Miranda lost and got paired up.
Well, let's have that. What's Mac running?
Max on Storm.
How's that matchup as a Storm? I assume it's gotta be.
So who's Mac? Who's Mac playing against?
I thought Mac was playing against Miranda. I thought that's what we were talking about. Oh no, so it's Steel Stompy versus.
Oh no, this is Stormir.
No, Steel Stompy versus Maverick. Yeah, let's do that.
Steel Stompy versus Maverick.
Table 10.
10, please.
Yeah. All right, so we're getting some Steel Stompy versus Maverick, and then we're going to try to get some food chain on after that if we can.
Yeah.
Player. All right, so I want to see this, Ren 6 hit the table.
I say the Charlotte's Rug deck lost, sadly.
Brutal. All right, so let's try to fix this. I'm going to go down to the match.
Yeah, so we got Miranda Keith versus Robin Hartshorn.
I'm trying to figure out where each player's sitting.
I think Miranda's on the left. And yeah.
Robin Hartshorn, and so this is almost assuredly Steel Stompy, right?
Yes, Steel Stompy, and Miranda is on
Maverick. Rug.
Yeah, I think W just Rug, not Rug. It's like
no, it's Rug Maverick.
Rug, like blue.
Oh, sorry, Naya.
Naya.
You're right.
Yeah.
I had how do you spell Naya?
Punishing. Yeah, so you spell Naya.
It's not punishing though. That's
no,
the thing.
Not punishing. So okay, so what are the red cards you think would fit in your deck?
I think it just might. I think main deck it's only Ren 6, and the sideboard options you get like. I mean, I assume you don't have Pyroclasm.
I play Cindervines in that slot too.
I did see Pyroclasm.
Food Chain or Riot? Okay, Andy, show up.
Yeah, if you showed up, you could play Food Chain and get on camera.
Yes, Andy.
I also know that you don't work, so you could get here.
Damn, that's cold. Okay, Andy, how do you respond?
All right. So I hope we actually get to see. So the pinging effect does seem like it'd be very good against the
Oh
Steel
yes,
Stompy deck.
against the deck that's whatever 4 ballistas, 4 Steel Overseers, Arcbound Ravagers,
guess-
Thopter tokens.
Arcbound Ravager is the one place where it's going
It's not
to,
quite good.
yeah, like that's going to be the one thing that throws the wrench in that plan. But failing that,
I mean, it's going to be very good if Miranda's in the play because Robin starts and most are either Chalice on 1 or a 2-mana creature, which is always going to be a 1/1 with 1 counter on it. Brandon 6 being a 3 loyalty can answer a Ballista on 1, can just ping a. It's not as quite as good as Hangerback, so you do get the Thopter, but it also can just shoot a Ravager with no other creatures or no other cards in play.
yeah. I think our clock is pretty much synced up now.
Nice.
Forgot to start
Yeah,
that
I
last
think
round.
Miranda just stepped away for a second, put it back in a sec.
All right.
Oh, there she
I
is.
guess the one thing about Maverick is it's pretty dependent on getting the early mana dorks, right? Like,
Yes.
a lot of its hands, are, especially splashing the third color, are going to be really awkward if you don't have the.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to see some number of Birds of Paradise. And definitely 4 Noble Hierarchs, but Robin opening on something like Walking Ballista can certainly...
Or Chalice. I mean,
It's a
it's
Chalice on 1.
weirdly, even though it's not a cantrip deck.
Yeah, I think that the 1-drops in the Maverick deck usually are 6 to 8 mana accelerants. Green Sun Zenith usually can cost 1. And Swords to Plowshare is something that shows up too.
Okay.
Can't think of anything else. Like some very, very spicy Maverick players play crop rotation.
Yeah.
And they play a package of like whatever Wasteland, Dark Depths, Gaia's Cradle, Horizon Canopy, etc.
You've already got Neither Reliquary. I really don't think you need
Yeah.
crop rotation.
I mean, yeah, that's why it's spicy.
It's, I think, less than spicy. I think it's not good.
Damn. Okay.
I'm going to take that line that you've already got Neither Reliquary. You don't need that
Okay.
card.
Also, Miranda, also in the Mismatch Club, she
yeah.
enjoys having a very pimped deck of, say, varying types. So
Ooh,
she's got quite an interesting playset of Wastelands.
Alright, so that's Blast Zone, put Pedal into
Chalice
Chalice
on
on 1.
Seems like a good start. Blast Zones also seems very good in this matchup.
Yeah, I didn't think about how that would interact.
Robin's on 4, or 3 or 4 last time I talked to him.
Really?
Yeah, it's been that good. Oop.
So I hope we get to see the Ren
Well,
6.
Ren, I think I saw 1 or 2 in her hand, so...
Are you sure? Sure, those aren't nice?
I definitely saw one. That is right there.
Oh,
yeah,
beautiful.
Yep, very nice.
So we're already...
This is value.
So we already saw the Plague Engineer get
yeah.
massive value. So this is the second
yes.
Horizons card.
Also, Mother of Runes also 1-drop, I forgot to mention.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep. Also, Taiga getting some airtime. We don't see very many Taigas around here, besides from land players.
It's actually kind of sweet.
Oh, yes.
Although you can tell that Miranda doesn't often play Taiga, because it's the only white border. Bringing shame.
Okay. Pew. Do
Do this. And we got a reader.
We got a reader. That's okay. It's a new card.
I'm so excited to actually see this work.
Oh.
That's so
okay. Gotta get it. Okay, that die is sad. We need a bigger dice for this.
I mean, it's obviously on, what, 1 counter? Doesn't it come in at 3?
Comes at 3. It's -1.
-1, okay. Oh, wait.
Okay. This is probably something X equals 2.
Ballista? Probably? No, Revoker. That's funny.
That's very nice. That's also very nice. So that was short-lived. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I mean, Miranda can still just put a knight into play next turn.
I'm pretty sure she's just going to put a knight into play. I saw one in her hand. I saw 2. Thalia. It's definitely. Oh, I think it looks like a shelter ticket. I don't think that land enters untapped. Mother of Runes does not do anything. Thalia. Thalia. Oh, Stoneforge Mystic.
That's much better.
That's pretty good. What do you find? Jite? I'll say Jite. Oh, yeah, there you go. But Jite plus against an Arc Ravager is usually not the best. Use Block and Sack. From Block and Sack, this deck can stall. The Steel Stompy deck.
I mean, if Robin's sacking just to avoid GT counters, he's already only got 1 card in hand.
Yeah.
That's not going to work out very well long term.
I mean, I think the only reason that work out is if it's Hangerback Walker.
Yep.
Shelter Thicket.
Although, I guess I was going to laugh.
Take it up.
Blast Zone can't actually really deal with this because it.
No. I mean, you can take it if it was on 2, just wipe her board.
Will wipe his board too, though.
Oh, That's okay, whatever.
So he definitely has another Chalice in hand, although I don't think that's worth putting into play currently.
That card is. This is
And
good.
that's a Thorn? Chalice and Thorn. That is
Oh,
not a good hand.
those are cards you side out.
Yep. All right. So he is basically out of gas, other than the fact that they are counters.
And I'm pretty sure Miranda is holding one dead Mother of Runes and then 4 goodies. Knight, Ignite, Thalia, Jite. 2 knights.
Yeah, so
2 knights.
And probably, I think you said you saw another Ren in 6 earlier in the game?
I think that could have been a dual deck knight.
Okay.
Because Miranda playing some very suboptimal arts just to get the full variety for her mismatched play sets. Sometimes a little bit confusing.
Green Sun,
That
maybe?
is definitely a dual deck knight. That is disgusting. Oh, she cast it. Oh, Miranda, what are you doing?
No, that's fine. Alright, so,
She had a foil complex knight in her hand and she casted that one. That's disgusting.
well,
I don't approve of this.
what's interesting here, too, is I don't think Robin's going to ever be able to answer the Knight with this Blast Zone.
No.
He obviously tapped it up to 2, with the
Yeah.
idea of tapping up to 3 this coming
It
turn.
just gets wastelanded.
Yeah, exactly. The Knight just can waste it,
Well,
and then...
Miranda controls 3 forests, and all of those become a wasteland at some point. And that's what it is.
It's not like Robin has anything to play anyway.
No.
He's got... What was the new draw? I still see the Chalice and the Thorn.
That's a thorn. I mean, yeah. So the thing with this Knight of Reliquary is Miranda can both play a second Knight and then find a wasteland and then waste Robin.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a thorn.
I mean, sure.
Oh, that looks like an ancient tomb.
Okay. So I think this is fairly well in hand for Miranda, assuming nothing crazy comes off the top of Robin's deck.
Yeah, I'm
This is-
pretty sure this is just
So far,
cast
this has
Knight,
been
find
a
wasteland.
great
waste it.
showing for. I mean, even though it only got 1 activation so far, it was a very impeccable activation considering it slowed down Robin's the entire hand completely.
Yes. Because that Knight only being a 3/3, if the Seal Overseer survived, his board would be quite strong. That is another Knight. That is a far superior
I
Knight.
think this was the line you talked about. Just
Yeah.
play the Knight, and then
Find
if Robin tries to go spin up the Blast Zone, waste it.
Wasted. I think she's gonna make him take 2 damage here, which is probably the right thing to do. And here we go. Sack that. Get that thicket out of here. Boop.
Well,
Boop.
also, I think it's the best one to do, considering if you do get to unlock this run in 6 at some point, that's the one you'd want.
Miranda getting 2015 Wasteland. I know you have player awards Wasteland, Miranda. You could have got that one.
And it's probably just the first that comes up in the deck.
Oh yeah.
I see. I don't really have a. I have more of a practical problem with mismatched arts, where knowing exactly what art you're playing makes it easy to find things in the deck. Where I mean, I guess Maverick feels like it searches too much to do that, in my opinion.
Well, because between Green Suns, you get neither Reliquary, fetch lands.
All right, so that is something.
I could do something, yeah.
Well, I mean, it
that
means
represents
this,
2 artifacts.
It means this basically dead Chalice and this all the way dead Thorn
Yes.
can now be something more useful.
Can now
And
turn into some Thopters. But I think so. Miranda has 2 forests, but she's gonna have probably have 2 wastelands in a sec, and Robin's gonna have no lands. And those knights are then going to be. That's a forest.
That's a forest. Okay.
I'm pretty sure those knights are then going to be 7/7s, or actually, no, give me 9/9s, because 4 lands are probably going to be hitting the bin.
Yeah. I mean, you can chump block them forever with that.
Yeah, with Thunder. So.
Well, not if a GT gets added
No.
to play.
Oh no.
So I think I like Violin and equip GT this turn off the Knight activation.
Yeah.
And then just swing with that Knight. And yes, Robin can fog it with the Ravager, but that basically forces him to pop this now before his before it gets any bigger, before he gets any more fuel to kind of get this thing going.
Conversely, you can just take him off all lands and have no lands in play.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Send a message.
I would rather have the GTA going.
Well, you can put the GTA into play and Wasteland. You can put the GTA play equipment Wasteland once. Or you can just
You can't swing with them.
Yeah, you can't quite swing with them. But also, you can't. Miranda could also just cast the GTA if it wasn't for that Thorn. Thorn's making GTA cost 3.
I mean, I still.
Yeah.
Why not just I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you have GT rolling right now, there's how you losing. And
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're forcing Robin to start sacking already,
Oh, this is attack for 5. So she's taking kind of a hybrid between the two lines. She's getting in there, but she's not going the full wasteland mana denial plan, but also not going the full GTA plan. Maybe doing some stuff on Robin's end step.
I don't know. I think I'd rather just put in the GT and swing or go the Wasteland route. Like, I think one of those two. To be fair, she is kind of the local Maverick expert, so maybe she knows something we don't. But
I think she's definitely taking the line to keep her options up.
okay.
Because that knight is untapped, so she definitely has the mana to sneak in the GT on end step, find a wasteland, find a. He also could just go for a 20/20 here if she really wanted to. Or she's playing the depth stage.
I doubt she would be.
I don't think so. I mean, you have a bunch. These are going to be huge.
I
You
think I
certainly
wasteland.
activate the knight. You're going to activate it for something. I'm not sure what she
Well,
wants to
there's a
find.
blast zone in play, so I think I just get a wasteland and wasteland the blast zone. I don't think
Oh,
I want
yes.
to play that game at all.
That seems fine.
And once again, if either you can get a GT activation, or
Oh, okay. She's just making them huge. So she has a Green Sun Zenith in hand, so there could be a Rainbow Neck Excavator showing up at some point.
maybe, I don't know.
That one will cost 5 though.
Kind of feels like it doesn't really matter what she does right now. She's just so far ahead.
Yes.
Like Robin would have to have some amazing draw for
She
this.
is
So.
2 7/7s.
I mean, I guess she could just draw like running 1-drops for the rest of this game. Although she still might win that game.
I mean,
GT
I'm
and
pretty sure
Knights.
because she's going to be attacking for 14 every turn, and Robin's going to be losing all of his lands.
Well, I mean, either attacking or losing lands. Probably not both.
Yeah.
Although actually, if Robin's forced to get rid of this Revoker,
Oh yeah.
at that point he starts losing lands because the Ren at 6 is back on.
Yep.
So
Pretty classic line with the. Okay. She floats a green, sacks a forest, finds a fetch land. Now this is just when you just going all in on pumping your knights.
see, the
Knight's
thing I don't
Forest.
like about this play is that Robin can put all of he can put all of his counters onto the Hangerback Walker, and then get the if you swing with your other knight, and then get the blast zone up to 2 and destroy Renin 6, the GT, the Stoneforge, and basically not lose anything on his own side.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is X equals 2 through the Thorn of Amethyst because there's a green floating and 3.
Still not wanting to wasteland or GT.
So this is X equals 2. So it's just I don't know what this is gonna find.
Maybe a Pride Mage.
Potentially Pride Mage. Usually, I don't think the deck is really playing Pride Mage that much because they were going for either Knight of Autumn or
Scrib Ranger.
Scrib Ranger.
Interesting.
That one, I mean, you can go Turbo Wastelands with that one. That
Well,
one seems fun.
The important thing about that is, well, no, I was gonna say the important thing about that is it has flying, but the Hangerback Walker makes flyers, doesn't it? It makes Thopters, not servos. Yeah,
Yes.
so it makes flying blockers. So
Yep.
Andy, that null red creature is out, so that would actually be a good guess, but that's probably sideboard.
Yes.
Collector Oof.
Oof. So I picked up one, played that in Canlander. It's very strong.
These lines, I mean, I understand that Miranda's making these knights huge, but
I don't think they're going to get through, so I think you should probably take a more proactive game plan and just attacking Robin's resources right now.
I like either equipping GT or wasting. I don't understand this kind of, like, Robin's going to have chump blockers for a long time because of the Hangerback.
I'm sorry, I think she's saying that I don't think she's not playing any of the Cradle,
Okay.
Cradle depth stage shenanigans.
Yeah, definitely not. So she did have mana from all the floating.
Oh yeah,
nonsense.
Scrib Ranger untaps. This looks like an attack for probably 22 with a GT.
It's not. It's probably in like.
Pretty sure it's close to 22. There's about 9 lands in there.
Well, no, the one knight is not attacking. One knight.
Never mind. That is an attack for probably 11. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ha! Nailed it. Exactly 11.
So there's 2 counters on that now. All right, so the Renin 6 is back on now. Though, so
Ooh.
I don't know.
No, it doesn't shoot anything. I just return a land here. Get that wasteland back.
Yeah, get the wasteland, kill the blast zone. So that you don't lose
I'm pretty sure she has played a land for turn. She bounced the forest to the Scrib Ranger and then played it again.
Well, the important thing is that she might lose the GT because of like the blast zone's already on 2. But
Well, he chooses Renin 6, Scrib Ranger, GT, Stoneforge Mystic.
then she still has the 2 knights, so I don't know that she really cares.
Yeah, but then Robinson's fair too. He loses the Ravager.
Well, he sacks
Yeah.
everything and puts it on the Hangerback Walker before he blows up 2, if he does decide to blow up 2.
Yeah.
The thing is, I feel like you have to do it on your main
1,
phase, because if
2,
you do it... If you
6.
wait, you
If he-
just
if he
let
does
Renin
so-
6 activate
If he
again.
does so, that's 6. So if he does, so the thing is, he can't both dump the counters on the Hangerback and then sacrifice it, because he has to sacrifice the Ravager
Well,
to dump the counters.
It blocks to set. That's how
Yeah,
it. That's
yes.
how it pops. But
Yeah.
then the GT starts cleaning them up.
Yes.
Well, actually, no, because
He has to block. He has to probably block sack on the Ravager, and then he's the. Yeah, so I think he's not gonna be able to dump all the counters onto a creature, onto the Hangerback Walker, without it taking combat damage to kill it, unless he has to top deck a second Ravager.
I mean the fact that the GT might not get counters that way because the Blast Zone can pop it before. She can still use Scrib Ranger on his turn, but
she
there was
can
no
use it
reason.
once on each turn. Yeah.
So I think he should have. Well, I guess if she activates the Wasteland, then Robin can pop the Blast Zone in response, right?
Yes.
So
And well, he's gonna probably spawn. He's gonna eat his Thorn of Amethyst, and then sack the Ravager to itself to try to dump counters. At that point, doesn't matter too much, but you'd rather just get ahead of it before Miranda's
to
an
be fair,
opportunity.
though, I don't know that you actually want to do that one, because if you sack this Chalice, you risk your Walker getting swords, right?
Yeah.
So
We can't. The Chalice is fine. So you sack the Thorn of Amethyst. That's dying. That's dying anyway to your Blast Zone on 2.
true.
Chalice is counts as 0. So that's probably not going anywhere.
So we're just picking up the cards. That seems right.
I do not think it at all. Let's see. That one was an attack for 22.
Probably, yeah. I'll agree. All right. So, as Andy brought up, we already got to see Renin 6. This is a Green Sun deck, so we probably will get to see Collector.
Oof.
Well,
Maybe. I mean, if Miranda's feeling spicy, like Force of Vigor may make an appearance too, but that's probably that's
I
probably
don't know
unlikely.
that. I don't think that's as good in your Thalia deck as Collector might be.
Yeah.
Is that an
I
expiration?
think that's a choke.
Oh, choke. That makes more sense.
It's Council Judgment. 3 Council Judgments. That's a lot of Council Judgments. I can't quite see what those cards are. I saw at least 3 Council Judgments.
So and it looks like Robin's just bringing in
Councils.
Leyland of the board, which makes
That
sense.
does look like a collector oof.
Does it?
Ooh.
So
Yes.
Renin 6 does fail against Leyland of the Void,
Yes.
and you're already bringing that in to fight the Knight nonsense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Also, it has some utility against Raymond Excavator and these likes, but it's also not the best because Knights can still go on Wasteland you 4 times in 4 turns plan, and also can
Still a
assemble
2/2.
any land-based combos, and you can still lose the Maverick on Maverick just on having the Stoneforge angle or getting Thalia'd or Wastelanded out of the game.
So this looks like most of the 1-mana plays, like the Mother of Runes. So
I mean,
there's probably no what's the new core Mother of Runes called?
Giver of Runes.
There's probably no Giver of Runes in Renin 6, right?
Oh, that card's not good 'cause it just dies.
Doesn't protect itself.
It does not protect itself.
It protects from colorless is the important thing.
Yeah, but I was saying that it gets blistered. Even though
That's
it's a 1/2, so it's somewhat better, but it's still not something I would ever consider playing.
Makes sense.
So I will cut the Moms. Moms very, very bad against a mono colorless deck.
Yeah, especially one that's already shown you a bunch of Blast Zones and Chalice.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh yes. So Swords is, even though there's playing a Chalice on 1, Swords is still a fairly strong card because you do have to hit something like Steel Overseer before it gets out of control.
I mean, it's the most effective way to get rid of a Hangerback Walker too.
Yes.
So probably just every disenchant effect, the Collector Oof, which I really hope we see in play. That would be sweet. I just want to see all the cool Modern Horizons cards. That's all I want. And we got to see Ren do its thing a little bit.
Oh yeah.
The Revoker kind of rained on its parade a little bit, but
Yeah.
it still got to ping something and then return a Wasteland. That's
yes.
a solid 2-for-1 for 2 mana, which a green creature deck doesn't usually have access to.
Andy, mention something about a new red ley line in chat. We have not quite seen that spoiler.
I've seen it. So what is
it?
It's a red ley line that whenever you or a opponent you control is the target of something, it deals 2 damage to the source's controller. So basically,
That's nice.
It's a burn ley line that would stop people are theorizing for, like, say, Modern or something. It's a burn Leyline that would stop Storm. I don't think it works against... Well, actually, no. All the triggers would go before any of the 10 was resolved. So, actually, it does work against Legacy Storm, too.
You mean
Yeah, there we
that
go.
whenever you and or at least one per neutral target is that one seems fairly strong. I like that one.
I mean, we'll have to see
Yeah.
if enough things are the target of...
Yeah, I mean, also, if you're playing a burn deck, that basically makes every single one of your creatures an Eidolon. Because if it gets targeted by anything, that person gets shocked.
Yeah, that's true. But you're also down a card.
Yeah, you're also down a card, but all of your cards deal 3 damage anyway. So if you have a 2-creature draw, your creature gets in for a bunch of damage.
So, interestingly, Robin chose, unless he drew that Chalice just now, he chose to play the turn 1 Ravager instead of the turn 1 Chalice. So,
I think that's probably. I would certainly slam the Chalice, especially if you're trying to play against a creature deck that wants a turn 1
this
acceleration.
probably feels real bad if that was the turn 1 draw. He should be at 16, because that is definitely an Ancient Tomb.
That is. Now he's at 14. He's updating his own life pad, not quite getting on the thing. Certainly, that's a decent start. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Double Ravager. Yeah, I guess that's right. They can kill the things by blocking them.
Yes.
I mean,
we are in round 2.
Yeah, it turns off the chase win, but that's...
I mean, you target yourself, right?
Yeah, that's not... You target yourself until you...
Yeah, until you exile their deck.
And then you take 2, and you're like, sure.
X equals 1. I think this is getting another mana creature if it's X equals 1.
This
or
is
just getting a
round
Dryad
2.
Arbor.
We're in round 2. It does make discard
Oh,
bad.
this is an oof. This is a
And did Robin
Green
let it
Sun
resolve?
Zenith X equals 2.
Oh, and
Oof!
you see Robin raise his hand.
Big oof. That's a big oof on Robin's side.
Nice 1/1s.
Oof. Correct.
God, we've been seeing all of the Horizons cards do wonderfully tonight.
There is Drake 250 in chat. There is one painter. Mike Kiesel is here with blue-red painter.
So if you go and look at the most recent Legacy Preservation Series event on like MTG Top 8, you can see the painter list as he had it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's playing any new. I mean, probably Force of Negation.
Probably Force of Negation. Maybe
No.
Goblin Engineer.
It might not play Force of Negation because it doesn't protect your combo on your turn.
No.
So I think you're better with just Blast.
But also, there could be a Goblin Engineer or something that could show up.
Yeah, Andy, I think
it's both a welder that tutors.
The reason there's so much artifact hate in the last couple sets is they were designed when KCI, like Lantern had just won the most recent Modern Pro Tour, and KCI was the best deck in the format. So that was like, between those two things happening, they just really wanted to crack down.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure Robin's only answer to an oof is Blast Zone or Dismember. He may be playing a Dismember, but Blast Zone, Ballista, that can't get activated, and yeah.
MTG Top 8, Drake.
Yeah, MTG Top 8.
That's where the organizers post the list there. They might be on Goldfish too, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they're probably up. So if you go into the events and search Legacy Preservation Series, you'll get a list of all of them. And if you go to Advanced Search and MTG Top 8.
You can also just search Kiesel's last name if you know how to spell it.
Yeah, Kiesel.
And it should show a painter list.
Yeah. All right.
So we got the oof. Is that that's the Knight, right? Knight of Autumn?
It's a Knight of Autumn.
All right, so what is that? I guess killing one of the chalices? Probably the chalice on 2 would be more important.
That's a chalice on 2, yeah. Chalice on 1. Oh, yeah. Also, but yeah, I see Hogak. There's another card coming up.
So what's actually kind of interesting is because we got so much artifact hate in these like past 2 sets, do you think in a year's time, or I guess a year and a half's time, we're going to be getting just swamped with graveyard hate?
I mean, hopefully.
Between Phoenix and this Hogak nonsense that's happening?
Yes. Well, because I mean, the thing about graveyard hate is you see like 4 different graveyard hate spells like running around. Because you see Leyline of the Void, you see Rest in Peace, Grafdigger's Cage, Surgical Extraction.
Yeah.
And Leyline of the Void is back. Official?
Sanctity was in the set, so probably Void will be.
Yes. I see Andy says Leyline got reprinted. It got reprinted in M11 last time I looked. Let's see if there's a new spoiler. We are checking right now to see if it has been officially spoiled. Rip Bear. Okay, a Rip Bear would be super sweet, but especially if it was green.
I mean, there's already
Ravenous Shop is also a thing. That's correct. Andy, Andy confirmed that Leyland of the Void appears to have been spoiled in 20.
Yep. With
That
horrible
is,
art. But
yeah, that's
whatever.
awful art. Never mind. Okay,
But it's going to be more accessible, so hopefully it brings
thank you, chat.
more.
We have people playing jamming 4 Leylands on their sideboard, but also now as a London Mulligan, you'll probably find them with startling consistency.
Oh yeah, because they're legal as of M20, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh
That's
yes.
gonna be funny.
But yeah.
All right. So this. So I know we've been focusing mostly on the spoiler cards in the set that's just been printed. Then that's kind of because this game is a little bit of a blowout.
Oh yeah. Well,
We've got the Run in 6. We've got the Collector Oof, the Knight of Autumn. Now we've got a Stoneforge.
and I'm pretty sure Robin took probably 12 damage from his lands.
So, GTA is a little bit. I mean, like Stoneforge is still fine and all, but Collector Oof is Null Rod, right?
It is actually two-sided. That's good design choice. It is a
Yeah.
two-sided hate bear.
You might have to get ready. If Miranda goes up and tries to equip it, you might have to get ready to run to the table and just say it can't.
Yeah. I am pretty sure Robin is going to die a lot before that. Long before that's relevant. That's a Karn.
Don't think that matters. Well, he's at 1 life. Is there enough attackers that?
I see.
Wait,
Renin 6 and target him.
Yeah.
Renin
So-
6. Get lethal.
All right. You might have to get ready to go find a backup match.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Because I think this is gonna be over pretty soon.
Oh yeah, so he just plows.
Oh.
Why don't you just target him with the Renin? Okay, does Renin 6? Okay,
Maybe it doesn't hit players.
maybe it doesn't hit players. I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna make sure that I actually know how cards work.
New cards. They're hard.
Yes. It's just like, last time I was in the booth, we had a player concede because they thought Karn could make a Painter Servant a 2/2, but that one, once any target. Thank you,
And
Northwest Dork in chat.
So that is that an equipped Jite? Yeah. Sorry, chat. So there is a Collector Oof. So Miranda cannot do that, and we are rolling that back because we actually caught that fast enough. All right, we fixed that. Oof, that's a mistake. Exactly.
Yep. Let's give. There we go. There you go. Renin 6.
All right, so I've got Kelvin out there trying to find a backup match for us. We'll see what we can find. I don't know. I think. I mean, it just seems needlessly difficult to swords and then swing and then ping. Why not just ping to start? I feel like that's a much better line there, but it's always easier to see the stuff when you're sitting in this seat than when you're sitting in that seat. It was strangely impactful in that match. All right, looks like we might have a match coming. All right.
I got table 6.
Table 6. What is
Ryan
table?
versus Eli.
All right, so Ryan is on
4-color loam.
So we got 4-color. We'll probably see more Run in 6 then versus Eli.
He's playing Manaless Dredge.
Weird.
It's gonna be interesting.
So Run in 6 can kill your own creatures to kill
It
bridges.
certainly can. Target your own Dark Confidants.
Let's make a random guess that this is Eli Tripoli.
So I think Eli's on the other side.
Do you think Eli's over here?
Yeah.
Okay. Eli Tripoli, and we think he's on Manaless Dredge.
Manaless Dredge.
Do you know who won any games that they played so far?
It's game 3.
It's game 3. And who's the other player? Ryan something?
Yes, Ryan Krabacek.
Another HR.
BAC.
You don't see that very often. And he was on
4-color loam.
Alrighty. So, right now...
Yes, I'm pretty sure Mike has been trying out Goblin Engineer in the Blue-Red Painter deck.
Hopefully he's winning, and maybe we can get him on stream next round.
Oh yeah, we can get the 6 blasts. We can have all the blasts.
Assuming the food chain player won, maybe we can get her on
Let's see.
stream too. It's
yeah.
Aubrey, right? She was.
Food chain. Yes, Aubrey.
Yeah, so she lost round 1, but hopefully we can get her. If she won, maybe she'll be 1-on-1. We can get her on.
Yeah. Oh yes. I like myself some food chain. You probably see Squee show up.
No, I mean,
So that deck is awesome playing Squee because Squee you can cast it from your graveyard as well.
but it's Rug.
Yeah, but it's Rug.
You play Rug food chain? I think you play Bug food chain. You can just be grindy.
Well, that's when you have Deathward Shaman. Because Deathward Shaman is a combo. You can eat your Phoenix or whatever, your Griffins out of the yard. But the one issue is if they kill your food chain creature, you can't do anything with it because it's in your graveyard.
I guess that's true.
So if they Squee is good
Well,
because
no,
you
you
can
just play Relic of Trinus, right?
Yeah, that's bad. It's bad. You just have Squee.
I have seen. I saw Jund food chain running around a while back when that Squee first was
Oh,
printed.
Squee. And then you can also play Eternal Scourge.
No, you play Squee in the Eternal Scourge, and you would entomb Squee to start your chain.
That's hot. Then you also do you have like a cool like a tune package kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, weirdly, you play more colors of that Deathward Shaman,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you might have to stretch in that case. So let's see. Hopefully, we're right about the sides of the table.
Yes, that is this is the side they had at the they were playing. Yep, that is correct.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I feel like I recognize. Well, whatever. It'll be readily apparent if one player starts playing Dredge on the other side of the table.
Oh, oops, I got it backwards.
I figured. So we can do that.
Yes. Well, this is sort of interesting. So this is when you test your. This is when it really matters that you have a Pajuka Bog in your Loam deck, which is, I think, it's a common sideboard card. But also, Loam also plays 4 copies of Leyline of the Void a lot of time.
Does 4-color Loam doesn't play crop rotation though, right? Because you play
No,
Chalice.
plays Knight.
He plays Knight. Okay. Is that
Plays
fast
Knight.
enough then?
I mean, it can be against Dredge, but also a lot of the decks do play 4 copies of whatever Leyline of the Void out of the sideboard.
Yeah, so we probably have Leylines or something.
And it looks like Swords to Plowshares as well. It's also a common sideboard card you see.
So that,
With
this is the Dredge player taking a mull. I didn't think Manaless.
they may not be a Manaless then. This says Manaless, but that is probably incorrect.
Because I don't think your hand has to be really bad to mulligan a Manaless Dredge hand.
I mean, you literally have to have all 4 copies of Bridge from Below in your opening hand to ever consider mulligan.
I'm just gonna update this to Dredge because I kind of don't believe that it's Manaless unless or since he's mulliganing. There are hands you can mull.
They're bad. They are very bad.
I was gonna say I think your criteria for what you have to mull.
This Cabal Therapy.
No Dredge or Phantasm, I guess.
No, you still keep it. So you gotta draw it because it's still gonna be 2 turns. It's gonna be more turns. You have to wait and sit there doing nothing.
To be fair, I am not a Dredge expert, but this feels likely that you would.
Legacy Hogak Dredge. That's good. Well, that is a card you can cast without mana.
Actually, that's kind of sweet.
I mean, that seems good. That seems fairly strong. But it's, yeah, I would do it. Triggers your price amalgams.
Alright, that's a Punishing Fire. Green Sun Zenith. I still don't. Ryan is digging deep for the.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you have the 4 bridges, and you need a Phantasmagoria. So you cannot. The way that you can't really get an engine going if you have a bunch of your enablers in your hand and no way to discard them.
I mean, if you have all 4 bridges in your hand, you just start discarding bridges, don't you?
Yeah, but then you don't do anything. You sit there for 4 turns and you're not doing anything. So you gotta get discard Dredger. Oh yeah, Narcs. Because those are the cards that really make your deck work. You need them in your graveyard.
I think Icarit's more important than Narcomoeba, right?
Yes.
But like that effect.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
Narcomoeba and Icarid.
I
think about Narcomoeba is the reason why it's more probably Narcomoeba is actually.
Leyline finally. That's a black card of some sort. No, it might be a deluge. No. It might be a deluge.
It might be deluge. But yeah. Oh.
I think he's gone too deep for like.
No, I stop at 5. If I am trying to hit ley lines,
I think this is going to 3 or 4. Like, this is.
I think that's yeah. The London Mulligan is not legal yet.
Yeah, so currently they're mulliganing correctly.
Yes.
He is going really deep for.
Even though there was that judge who said we technically could if we wanted to.
It's easier just not.
We don't.
seeing a 4-card
That's a
hand.
3.
Is that a
That looks
3?
like a 3.
That is a 3-card hand, and
That looks like a Loam, a Tranquil Thicket, and
I mean,
X.
I think at this point you have to keep. I don't think you can go to 2.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
He must be very scared of Dredge.
Come on, man.
So they are mulliganing using the correct rules. I don't know that they are mulliganing.
Yes, I think this is a little aggressive. I mean, this is the kind of Magic you want on camera, right?
Andy, you think you keep going? Well, I think at the point that you've gone down to 3, now you do have to go. I think you're supposed to stop at 5 or something like that. Something
Yeah.
where you can play a
But
reasonable.
also, the Manaless Dredge deck actually has an out now. Force Negation has been printed. Or no,
that
not Force
a-
Negation.
is that a-
Force. No. The green Force. Force of whatever is now a free card that Manaless Dredge can now play
Yeah, I think
to blow up your stuff.
especially if you think that your opponent is Manaless Dredge, and they mulligan to 6, I think you definitely stop at 5 because all of a sudden you don't need that.
This is
powerful
Manaless. This was a Drago.
followed by a.
Discard Narcomoeba.
All right, so
Not Narcomoeba.
importantly here, Ryan's going to be able to put his knight into play on turn 3, which means he probably will have access to a turn 4 Bojuka Bog.
Yes, but
And-
also means you can sacrifice your Dryad Arbor to then nuke the bridges.
But, well,
Yes.
he can't
Yeah, so if he can fetch, find a Dryad Arbor, and sacrifice it, and
kill
that
bridges.
also nukes
All right,
bridges.
so this might actually be a decent hand for our Multa too.
Yeah, well, especially because the Dredge player did have to spend a turn doing nothing.
But now we're off to the races.
This is certainly a good 2. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
There you go. That is Force of Vigor. It is the new Modern Horizons card, 3rd in the graveyard.
that's the other reason I don't think you go that deep for Wayland, because they might just be able to answer it before they even have to do anything.
Because it's now a free answer.
Well, to be fair, actually, if they answer it, they're back like 3 turns, right? If they're Manaless.
Oh, they discard first.
No, they don't, because if they
can't.
discard
Oh,
first,
because
they-
it has to be laid on the void, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, so you drop to 8, and then discarding your two lands, yeah. Yeah, so it's
This
not,
is
it's not
why-
like, not like Grafdigger's Cage.
So yeah, I don't think he has anything.
That looks like a Sickening Shoal, Dread Return, Force of Vigor, Flayer of the Hatebound, and Nether Shadow.
So I think you let him dredge next turn. I don't see. Is
it's
there?
only 2 creatures. That is a Nether Shadow.
So that will
Not
come
Nether
in.
Shadow. That will not. It's only 2 creatures. You need 3 creatures. That is a Force, a Sickening Shoal, and Dread Return. So it is the 3rd creature down. It needs 3 creatures on
Did he-
top of
Did
it.
he attack with it? I don't know if I like that.
That is not at all what you want to do.
I mean, to be fair, he might be.
Wasteland, good one.
Actually, that is really. See, now I like it even less because I think you had the out to Bojuka Bog,
Yeah.
followed
That's
by.
another Force. Ooh, that's not good.
That's a Phantasmagorian.
That's probably the best hit of the bunch because
Well-
it allows you to pitch all the nonsense in your
But
hand.
now you don't want to because next turn, seeing the Phantasmagorian, I think Ryan can't attack next turn
Yeah.
unless he doesn't have a Bojuka Bog in 7-5.
I think I agree with Andy here that he probably doesn't have Bog. If he did not actively search up a Bog,
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Eli's hand actually wasn't that scary that turn. It had no way to put a creature into play. Was going to get to dredge one more time.
this time I wouldn't attack. I would just keep the knight up to find a Bog if necessary.
Yeah, I think now you have to. I think you wait for him to activate the Phantasmagorian,
go.
and then you bog him.
Yes. But now he has Wasteland, so he can actually sacrifice. So if he sees a bridge, you can do the line where
He does have a forest, right?
uh,
Or a plains?
yes, it's
okay.
Scrubland.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so if the bridge ever shows up, you can definitely nuke bridges instant speed just by finding Dryad Arbor and Wastelanding it.
That's actually pretty cute.
Yeah, I agree with Andy. I would definitely just leave it up and pass. Just kind of stare down your Dredge opponent. It's like,
Are you gonna Phantasmagorian?
Because
if you
I
do
have Bog.
that-
What you gonna do about it?
If he does Phantasmagorian and doesn't have the ability to,
Oh, that's a Sickening Shoal. That's a Hogax. That's Sickening Shoal. X equals 7.
doesn't that? Well, jeez, I think you have to activate in response then, right? Like you
I
can't.
mean, yes, because the Sickening Shoal reads. No,
Um,
you at least get Dryad Arbor. I have to say you have to at least get Dryad Arbor, or you bog them.
Yeah, this feels like maybe he doesn't play this matchup very often.
Yeah, so if that was a Sickening Shoal. X equals 7. Pitching Hogax. So there are Hogax in this deck.
Would you have boarded out Dryad Arbor? Is that a thing that could possibly be happening here?
I mean, if you're experienced playing against Dredge, you will never touch Dryad Arbor because it is a creature you can kill at instant speed.
Yeah.
I think that is wrong.
So now there's an Icarid and a Nether Spirit in play.
Because, yeah. Loam can... That's a Hogak. Okay. So does have 2 black creatures, so he can just cast Hogak here.
And he's got 2 bridges in the graveyard, I think.
Has
Unless that
2 bridges.
is that
That's a Street Wraith.
That's true. So it's only 1 bridge for sure.
I mean, I would honestly just cast Hogak.
Yeah, deal
Okay,
with the 7/7.
Oh, he's just Dread returning. Oh wait. Okay, so if there's a second Dread return.
Oh,
You
Dread.
can get. Okay.
Oh, so he can get 3 tokens, and
No,
then he can bring back the Flare, can't
I
he?
can break the Flare. The Flare does 5. It's Balustrade Spy, so he's gonna mill his whole deck.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the Balustrade Spy. No, he had a Plains to sack.
It's Plains to sack.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So,
There was a Plains. That is a scrub land.
yeah. Because he has to have at least 1 because he got the Knight into play.
But yeah, so definitely playing against Manaless Dredge on the Loam side, a lot of the matchup revolves around killing your own creatures to nuke bridges.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to have all the ones you can.
All right, back in the booth now. That was a little bit of a strange round. I think he must not have a bug in the 75 if he didn't nuke in response.
Or if you didn't nuke in response, or if you didn't just pass with the Knight up. Even if you don't have Bog in your deck, I would still not attack with the Knight, because you still make the Dredge player play around it.
Yeah. To be fair, it was a Molda 2. He probably was not. He couldn't have cast Leyline. That was he was drawing cards off the top of his deck to see what was coming.
Yeah, the same thing about Leyline of the Void is it does not touch the yards that are already there.
Yeah, just stops
So,
further things.
Yeah, it stops further things. So you can create a little bit of value doing that.
I don't know. That seemed
And
odd.
we did see 2 new Modern Horizons cards in the Manaless Dredge deck.
Well, I mean, I was kind of hoping he was just going to bring back the Flare and then the Hogak. I think that probably would have been enough, honestly.
I mean, no, because it's an 8/8 Trampler. Like, it's going to be fine.
And your opponent was Hellbent, so it's like you've got the Flare and the 8/8 Trampler, and then it's just,
Oh, yes. He did have Scrubland at night. That's correct.
Yeah, but he chose not to. He must not have had either Dryad Arbor or
Bojuka
Bug in his deck
Yeah.
at that point, or else. But then it's kind of like, what's in his deck? Like, why are you playing 4-color Loam if you don't have
You don't have some sort of silly lands like that.
You're a Loam Wasteland deck with Knight. Like, that seemed very odd to me.
Also,
We'll see.
I mean, especially if you have Loam, you can get a loop going where you wasteland your own Bog a bunch of times and keep turning with Loam.
So sadly, in that match, we didn't see any cool Horizons cards. Like, we saw the Hogak,
we saw them.
but they didn't do anything.
We saw at least.
Well, actually, that's true.
We saw Force of Vigor.
We saw it be a really big black card for Sickening Shoal.
Sickening Shoal, yeah, because
So.
usually the biggest black card you'll see is Icarid. You know
No,
what?
it's Dread Return.
Well, they're the same cost.
Icarid's 5 mana?
No.
Or 4 mana?
Dread returns two black. Icarid's 3 and a black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was 5 for some reason.
No.
Yeah, it's possible. He probably was just going through the motions that game.
I don't think I would have. Yeah.
It
possible.
felt like there was some stuff given up there.
Especially if your Manaless Judge player is on 6, they're not gonna do anything till turn 2 anyway. But also the lone player must have won game 2 because you take the draw. If you're playing against Manaless, you're basically free on the play. So you just take the draw if you can.
Was he on the play? I guess
Yes,
we
he was
don't.
on the play.
Okay, so interesting. I don't know. Weird game. But in that Maverick match, we did get to see Horizon
Spicy.
cards. We
Yeah.
got to see the Collector Oof do its thing.
And you see Renin 6 finish Robin off.
So that was pretty sweet. Earlier in the previous match, we saw Force Negation briefly. It didn't actually go on the stack. It was, I think, coming in and out depending on player draw.
Yeah, we saw the whole matchup though is based on a War of the Spark card.
Yeah, I mean, Arcanus has been around for a while. Although we did
It's been
get
on for a month.
we did get to see why it's better, I think, in Grixis control style decks than in the Blue Red Delver where everyone's been putting it.
Oh yeah, I don't really like it. I
don't know. It
stifles.
I don't think it's bad in any deck. It's just a good card, but it definitely fights with the strategy of Blue Red Delver a little bit.
Yes.
And you're building your deck in a way that I think weakens it. Unfortunately,
I don't think it works with a tempo game.
well, it's a testament to the skill of the players that have been winning with it in like these legacy challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
Considering they're actively building some like kind of dyssynergies into their deck. I feel like.
Oh yeah, but another card that showed up in the Legacy Challenge, the first Echo of Aeon Storm deck came in 8th place of the most recent Legacy Challenge. Anyone, I do invite you to look that one up. That one's real spicy. It involves 4 copies of Narset Parter Veils, 2 copies of Monastery Mentor, and 4 copies of Echo of Aeons.
I think I saw that, and
2 copies Central Agony.
our main question was why aren't they playing? If they're already splashing white for Mentor, why aren't they playing New Teferi?
I'll play Silence over New Teferi. He's like trying to combo turns, like, ha, answer everything. Wheel! Or they're just trying to more on their main plan is Narset.
I guess Narset Will, you don't have anything left at that point, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would want to have Teferi in that deck.
Okay, if I'm playing in 2 in my Storm deck, I'm playing Tin Fins. I'm playing Shallowgrave Gristler Brand to go with my wheels.
So we have just about 6 minutes left in the round. I do see some players still playing. I don't know that. Do you want to see if we get any more Magic on camera for the round, or maybe
I can try
even if it's
something good.
I don't think any formats will ban Narset within the year. I mean, it's powerful, but it's not. I don't know. It's very good, but I don't think it's the sort of effect that gets banned. That's just like if Leovold has survived. I mean, I guess it's easier to play than that, but I don't know. It feels less powerful than that effect. Maybe Vintage. I have to admit, I am not an expert on Vintage. I could see it being a much bigger problem there since the searching ability it is much more powerful as the individual power of the cards go up. But I don't think it'll get banned in Modern. I don't think it'll get banned in Legacy per se. Certainly not Modern, since Modern is a format where it doesn't actually. It rewards kind of linear play as opposed to this sort of slow, grindy stuff that it incentivizes.
Oh yeah. So unable to find anything.
Unable
Looks
to find?
like
Okay.
people are just finishing up. A lot of people don't really want to go on camera.
That's okay.
Yep.
We'll just so.
5 minutes.
People are talking about banning Narset in formats,
Oh,
and I was saying
okay.
in Modern, Modern's too fast for an Narset to matter
Actually
enough.
matter. Well, because the interaction's just not there.
Legacy, it's powerful, but it's not as more. It's not powerful enough relative to the other things around it.
Because there are creatures that can just attack it.
Yeah, exactly. And then the chat was bringing up Vintage, which is a format that I don't play a lot of, where maybe it is a problem.
It is certainly a problem because so the thing about the cards that have historically broken Vintage are all one-sided hate cards. Talk about Lodestone Golem, which is it's attacks for every card your opponent plays, but none of yours because you're playing an all artifact deck.
Unless they're also playing an all artifact deck.
Exactly, but at the same time, so they're all hate cards that break the symmetry. Think about Trinisphere. If you open Workshop Trinisphere, you're both on 1 spell turn, but then your opponent, unless they're actually playing the same deck as you, it doesn't have actually affect them. Think like
I don't know.
Same thing with Chalice of the Void. Vintage Chalice of the Void's insane.
I think the argument for it is not actually the lock element of it; it's the search.
No, yeah.
Because your cards. We are in a game store with people playing, so
I think the big aspect is if it allows you to play the full powered deck. It allows you to jam every single insane artifact you can find in your deck, but then still utilize the most powerful effects in the format.
Yeah.
Because the other decks that were playing Null Rod they were the White Eldrazi and sometimes survival decks. They had to use power to power up a Null Rod, but then they were hampered. They could not take advantage of all the insane artifacts because they couldn't. They hurt themselves, so they had to actually build their deck around playing Null Rod.
Narset doesn't. You still get to play all the powerful blue stuff yourself. Yeah. So
and also it's mono blue. You can't just Leovold is at least a stretch to cast. I know it was a creature, you just bolted it. Narset, it's like, oh, it's on 5. And a lot of time you don't even need to minus it.
Yeah.
You just let it sit there. But also, you minus it, and he's like, hi, I found Ancestral Recall. I'm just going to draw 3 cards.
Yeah. Admiral Nobeard, you missed round 1. We had Grixis Control versus Blue-Red Delver, where Grixis Control showed that it was the better Arcanist deck, based on the fact that it has the discard, I think, mainly. Then round 2, we saw Naya Maverick beat up on Steel Stompy off the back of Collector Oath round 2. So we got to see...
And we saw some W6 showing up.
Yeah. The fact that it's almost Dig Through Time is
Dig Through Time.
Like it's obviously not Dig Through Time, but it's almost. It does an impression.
Yeah.
A decent impression.
Well, the thing about Karn is the people have been playing that in the deck they play every single artifact. They play 4 Grid Monolith and they play 4 keys. I play 4 keys just because you can untap your Grid Monolith, your Mana Vaults, and just go insane. But then also, you just put your Time Vault on the sideboard and you have 4 copies of Time Vault in your deck. But it's also a hate permanent against every single other deck in the format.
I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, I would believe. I guess my earlier statement, I would revise that. I could see everyone's talking about Vintage, I can see that how it could be a problem there. But that would be the only format where I think it would be enough of a problem.
yes.
To warrant. I don't think it's going to get banned in Legacy. I don't think anything will be banned in Legacy for a while. It's been with such a big shakeup. I don't know. It feels like it was very healthy, and all of these new cards, while some people don't like the Planeswalker focus of them, it's fine. It's still kind of in the works for what is the most powerful thing.
I think it's also, you don't get to play monsters. You don't get to just jam them out. You have to kind of like actually make them work, and they're very vulnerable to spell pierce.
Yeah.
They still die to lightning bolt a lot of the time, so you can certainly build around them, and you can still build some cool decks, but they're certainly not oppressive.
Yeah. I was gonna say the weird thing. There was a week or two where we were the only ones playing, at least locally, playing Narset in the Miracles, and it felt broken. And then as soon as everyone else started playing Narset against us, it was suddenly like, oh, this is fair, I guess.
But also, then people started bringing 4 copies of Pyroblast in their sideboard.
Yeah.
Which is also a very good card all around, but also just 1-for-1 destroys Narset.
Yeah.
But also, I think the one part people are annoyed about the Planeswalkers is that people had a certain set of hate cards, being Phyrexian Revoker and Pithing Needle, that just straight flat out answered Planeswalkers before.
Yeah.
But now, the most traditional Planeswalker hate cards don't do anything against the static ability, because it's what people care about the most.
Yeah.
Like Karn less so, because Karn mirrors are atrocious. Because you have people playing 2 one-sided null rods and you can't do anything. But Narset mirrors are, I'd say they're not the best. They're not the best either.
I've been watching a lot of Bomberman mirrors.
Oh no.
Our Thursday night meta has a lot of Bomberman for some reason. I guess I do think it's the best Chalice deck at the moment.
Yes. No, I want to see them playing Echo of
with
Eons.
with Ren and 6, it'd be interesting to see what, like, if 4-color loam gets pushed back above them, because I think that's the second best Chalice deck on my personal list.
Yeah, that's out of consistency.
Yeah, but Bomberman for a bit I think has been the most powerful Chalice deck. And so we've been seeing a lot of mirrors on our Thursday night Legacy, which is unfortunately not streamed. We stream Modern on Thursday night, so if you're interested in that, you can
Modern
watch that.
sucks.
And there's been a lot of let's do a library count. Okay, you have fewer cards, I'll play Lattice.
And then, there's been a couple like, I didn't count. I have 39 cards. You have 40.
And then
I guess I'll die.
I did see the funniest beat of somebody had a bridge in play. The one player thought that they would be able to attack the opponent's Karn with their Karnstruct from the previous Karn.
Oh yeah.
Like not the Great Creator, but the one before that.
Yes.
But by playing the Lattice, they made their Karnstruct huge, and it could never attack through the bridge. So they just died to the fact that now they had fewer cards in their library. So that's the best.
And also the part where if you get Lattice Lock, your bridge is going to basically be on 7 for the majority of the game. So if your opponent's a little bit ahead on board, they can just start attacking into you.
Yeah.
None of you can cast any of your spells. But I say the Bomberman deck.
Spells.
Yeah, they can cast them. They paid 12 baubles or 10 baubles.
And Lion's Eye Diamond.
Lion's Eye Diamond and Mox Opal. So that is one deck. What's one thing? The Sanctum Prelate on 0. Very good against that deck. That's how I won.
You play D&T, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I do play D&T sometimes. I brought it once to give it a go because Storm has been feeling abysmal lately, and I was able to attack through a bridge. I was able to kill him through a bridge because he drew 3 zeros when I had a Sanctum Prelate on 0, and he could not cast any of them because the way Prelates were, he couldn't just I'll play it and get it countered.
Yeah.
Couldn't play it at all. And then I eventually was able to attack it with 4 Flicker Lifts.
I mean, I could see Narset actually having the fact that all the Miracles decks have picked it up, all the Grixis decks have picked up Narset, and just Arcanist incentivizing people to play more discard, I could see why Storm would be. I mean, it's probably always fine, but it's just not as good as it usually is.
People jamming Chalices too.
Yeah, all the cards.
But also, the thing about Bomberman is also it's a fairly quick clock. Is if they're playing Mentors and also combo.
So you don't have time to find your recalls or whatever.
You can't really.
Whatever your answer is to Chalice.
Or your Hercules and your Replicas.
Yeah.
But I've been playing White. White's been pretty strong for your Storm deck.
You just play Teferi? Is that the way?
Oh no, Teferi, and you play Serenity over Hercules Recall. And then also you play Monastery Mentor. Hey, that one's spicy.
That is.
Yeah, you can get him. But also, if you're really spicy, have you heard of a card called Equipose?
I have not.
Well, it's a 3-mana enchantment, and it's target opponent on your upkeep. You get to phase out a permanent that you control.
Alright, so what do we have here? We've got, so it does look like,
That's burn. Oh, Patrick versus Greg. Or Patrick versus Greg.
yeah, so that's probably Rug Delver versus Miracles.
Let's see what Patrick's on. Patrick's on Rug Delver. I want to see Rug Delver versus Miracles.
All right, we can go
to be
table
honest.
2. So when go back, do that. Chat.
You gotta. Okay, yeah. So table 2. Yeah, Patrick's playing Dredge.
He's not playing Dredge, is he? All right. This should be a good match.
What?
He's not playing Dredge, right? You said.
No, he's playing Rug Delver.
Okay. I heard
He's
you say.
playing real Delver.
I just heard you joking about that. So.
Greg is on the red splash, which is actually, I think it's kind of iffy in this matchup.
Iffy in this matchup unless you have the mountain on the sideboard.
Yes, not on the sideboard. I mean, he probably does. He's playing 4 Vista. He's probably most likely on 4 Vista. Then Patrick is probably on the sideboard Narset, because I've seen that been showing up. But also, Rug has also been, since they usually have a Light from the Loam on the sideboard, for like the grindy, fair matchups, Lance matchups, control matchups, there are not miracles. They may be picking up Ren in 6.
Yeah. Alright, I'm trying to figure out where the round clock thing is. Wave down Will. Alright.
Nice. I see Patrick with a pump fake. It just says lands on his deck box. I see. That's probably a Canlander deck.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost certainly his Canlander deck. From
Canlander. I just threw one together. It's a very fun format, and it's also collector oof very strong.
So this is going into round 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Why do I keep saying that? It's already running. How do I get to it? There we go. There we go. Alright, round timer finally working.
Yes. So I'm pretty sure Craig's like on your list. He's on the. I think he's on Teferi though. He's on like the 2-2-1 split of Planeswalkers, 2 Jays, 2 Narset, 1 Teferi.
It'll be interesting to see what he's got as far as Vista count. And I was building this today in paper. I think I'm on 3 Vista. I think that's the right number. So my mana base, I think for Miracles I like is the 4 Flooded Strands, 3 Vista, 2 Scalding Tarn as the fetches, and then 5 Islands, 2 Plains, 2 Tundras, and a Volk.
Volk, and then a sideboard
sideboard
basic mountain.
Yeah, I think that's the right build if you're going to be playing red, which right now I think is a prerequisite because you get hosed so massively by Narset.
Also, I mean, it blows out the Narset mirrors because I've played a couple of the Miracles mirrors when I had Blast and my opponent didn't, and it was easy.
Yeah.
They had no chance.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what Patrick's threat count is. I'm assuming with Rug.
It's 11 usually.
No, I mean because you're on Rug, you're very heavily into the Stifle round, so you're not going to be playing Arcana starting the blue-red nonsense.
Not even a chance. No, you play 11 threats.
Okay.
Your 11 threats are usually 4 Delver, 4 Nimble Mongoose, and 3 of either Tarmogoyf or True Name Nemesis. More people have been moving to True Name as it's a little more resilient than Tarmogoyf. Does not get plowed, does not get pushed.
I know that Patrick is the biggest fan of Winter Ward that I think I've ever seen. So
you have not been to Canada.
Okay, well I'm sure he's got 2 or 3 in the sideboard.
I've got 2. I've had 2 or 3 in the sideboard for a while too.
Okay.
You have not been to see actual Canadians play Canadian Threshold.
Interesting. Going for the basic.
I think you usually fetch basic Plains here in case you blind flip a Terminus into a turn 1 Mongoose. But you certainly do not play turn 1 Mongoose when you're playing a Stifle deck.
Well,
that is the one weakness of Miracles, is it needs all of its lands.
So we've got his hand is Bolt Force, Ponder.
That's a Spell Pierce, 2 Spell Pierce. These are disgusting Spell Pierces, Patrick.
I think that was a very good fetch for Plains because he has 2 more islands in his hand too.
Oh yeah.
Correct. So
I think that makes sense then.
He's golden.
Get your fetches out of the way.
He's not getting wasted this game.
That looks like a True Name, a Dismember, and another land on top of the Ponder. So this is probably I'm gonna keep the True Name, shuffle away the rest of it, or just get rid of all of it. He was not looking for. It wasn't actually a True Name.
I don't think he has a threat, right? So
I thought the top card with the Ponder was a True Name, but I was probably wrong.
I think Miracles is the one deck where Rug probably doesn't really want to draw, at least pre-board. I don't think you want to.
Well, it's better than Delver. It's your second best strat. Goose is your best strat, but you want to play 1 Shroud Ether at a time and just ride it, and basically interact with only Terminus. But a lot of the Rug players, they do the full Shroud sideboard plan where you set out all your Delvers, bring in.
All your Tarmogoyfs if you had them.
Yes. Oh, well, you can't do the full Shroud plan if you're on Tarmogoyfs, as then you do your 2-threat light at that point.
Okay.
You're having 4 or 5 actual relevant threats. You need probably 7 or 8 to really actually matter. But yeah, he's got a Goose in hand. He's probably holding up interaction and try to interact with like something like Counterbalance or Stifle a potential
Narset.
fetch land. Or Narset.
I don't think he had a Stifle last I saw. So unless you can
He's
game up
got
that
multiple
Ponder.
Spell Pierces.
I see Force Brainstorm. I don't see any Spell Pierce in that hand.
I see a Wasteland. No, they're the Invocations. They may have gone back, but the Invocations on the end are Spell Pierces.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Interesting. I always forgot that he plays Invocations.
Well, he does. He doesn't play Invocation Force. I think he plays Invocation Forces too.
Yeah.
That's a daze.
Well, that's at least one force that's not Invocation.
Yeah, get rid of the Wastelands. But also, one card that the recently picked up for Rugdover, it's been very strong in these kind of slow blue-white matchups, is Cindervines.
Yeah. Okay.
You just play it on turn 2 and just let it sit there. Usually deals 6 or 7 damage to your opponent, interacts with Counterbalance, interacts with Blood Moon if someone did that, or Back to Basics. And you just sit there, and if they try to enact their game plan, they die.
Yeah.
Very slowly.
Alright, so I think now
This is a Goose.
the Goose is coming out. I don't think I force the Goose right now as Greg. You have enough time to find a Terminus.
I mean, that's probably the only relevant spell he actually does. So
Well,
it's certainly an option.
I think. Well, you've got the Ponder to force with.
He also has a second AK.
Well, you don't want to pitch that.
No, we have one of the Yard arrays. That's a draw 2.
Yeah. So I think that the fact that he has a draw 2 makes me more willing to.
Oh, I'm trying to blind hit that Terminus. This is certainly a reasonable target for Spell Pierce, but I think that means he tapped out on his turn. Is that a Terminus?
That looked like. I don't think he wants to cast it into a daze though. So even if he found it, he's probably going to want to brainstorm it back and fire it off at a time that he's got mana up to not be dazed or.
That's a
That's a
Narset.
Narset. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so this is Brad's running face first into a Spell Pierce. I do not think that's going to be the card. Yep, that's probably the one you lead on.
And I think if I'm Patrick, I force that for sure.
Yes.
I think you let every cantrip other than Brainstorm resolve.
Yes, there you
So
go. That's exactly where Delver needs to be. Delver's in the exile zone. So either you pitch it or it gets swords. Forcing back. That is aggressive.
I mean, I don't think it actually is that aggressive. I think if he did draw a Terminus like we think he did, I think that's the right play.
That is the right play. Well, especially if it matters enough to Patrick that he forced, it's probably the right option to force back.
I think
He's holding Stifle Spell Pierce, so if I recognize my invocations correctly.
Okay.
Neither of which do much here.
Well, Stifle's going to answer the Terminus.
It does interact with fairly the Terminus.
And
that's a daze too. He's got three invocations.
So we're still waiting on if he wants to do anything. Alright, Brainstorm looks like it's resolving. And more lands, which is all you want as miracles again in this matchup.
Oh yes. And it looks like double Terminus?
Maybe.
Because the bottom card is Terminus. So
He put it too deep at the very least. There is a Terminus too deep, there might be one also on the top.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a double Terminus, which is going to look very good against.
Because the question is, will Patrick get greedy? Because I think I saw a True Name in his hand.
Trigger. Stifle. So that goes to his hand. I'm pretty sure Greg says sitting on a second one.
Yeah. Also, there's more Brainstorms in the deck, so I'm pretty sure he's fine with that.
I'm pretty sure Greg will either just pass, take one, just not carry, because one is fine, especially if you got a second Terminus on top.
Yeah. I think there's only 5 cards in the graveyard, right?
Yes, 5.
I mean, Wasteland plus Cantrip gets you to, or Fetchland plus Cantrip gets you to 3.
But you certainly don't want to have your 4th land in this matchup. It's not where you want to be. You want to sit on 2 lands.
Yeah.
Because, well, even though the Miracles deck is doing AKs and stuff, you can generate card advantage just by having 2 lands to their 5. So you have effectively 3 extra spells.
Double Swords.
I see at least a Volk. I see 2 Swords. Swords is awful card.
We're getting close to just hard casting Terminus range, though.
That's get Spell Pierce. Need 8.
So, I mean...
Yeah. I'm missing that. That's really not going to be... Yeah.
Something is going to get Spell Pierced at some point, I expect.
Yes. Mesa should definitely be the new fetch. Yes, that is correct. I don't know why anybody playing Arid Mesa now Prismatic Vesta is legal.
Probably just hasn't picked them up yet. Or knowing Greg, he's got them coming in from...
MKM.
Yeah.
Well, because I can see that his cards are mainly Russian, and you don't want to be a casual and play English cards.
The I don't think I like ticking down the Narset in this matchup. I think you leave it on 5 and you make it a 2-for-1, or you make it kill all their cantrips.
I like ticking it down once as it is. You mean so then it's basically 2-for-1. You find whatever you want. I think the best part is you get to impulse. It's right 3-mana impulse also makes your opponent discard a card.
Yeah. I think I liked fetching on the end step so that you could pierce if he tried to stifle, and then you can untap and you can terminus through a daze, or terminus pierce, which he just picked up the Narset, through a spell pierce.
Oh yes.
So I think if I was Greg, assuming he has another land in hand, that might be if he doesn't have a land anyway, then it doesn't
So
matter.
he's sitting at 15 here, so that's it's 5-turn clocking chance. He can definitely sit a little bit.
Okay, so he's got a counterspell.
Counterspell, terminus, swords, just cast, just bam, Q, daze. That is an invocation daze.
I mean, and
I say that's got very nice art. Awful border.
I think the most impactful thing about that is we're through 2 termini so far.
Yeah.
So Greg probably only has 1 more and a Council's Judgment to answer this true name that's in play.
Yes, true name play, and also answer the 4 other goose eye that are lurking.
And his mana's tapped, so his counterspell is not live anymore. And
I really don't like jamming there. I would definitely would have just waited, taken a few hits. But I'm pretty sure Patrick is not playing any more lands. He is finding a brainstorm and sending him right back.
I mean, if you can.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you hold lands here. He had the land that he bounced. He drew a land for turn. Yep, holding lands.
Well, I mean, yeah. That's part of why I really like the idea of not ticking down the Narset and just making sure that if he did draw any lands, he can't put them back, or at least not effectively.
Oh, that's another land. I think now you start playing out your lands because you're in hard cast force range, while also being able to put at least 1 back with your brainstorm. But yeah, that's an unfortunate series of draws for Patrick here, hitting land after kind of getting a pretty big win.
All right, so I see Snapcaster Island, another brainstorm.
I'm pretty sure this is. It's gonna be Snapcaster for brainstorm. Try to find a terminus. Let me just AK to draw 2. If it's draw 2, it's better on the end step than in the main phase.
I mean, it's gonna get forced though if he waits till Patrick's end step.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't know that, but
pitching spell pierce. Counter spell.
So Patrick's probably reading this as I have another terminus in hand that I need to put back, but that would be surprising considering.
Yep, brainstorm. Yeah. Brainstorm, Flooded Strand. I think it's a Flooded Strand.
Is that another source?
That's a Mentor.
Oh, that can race. Is it 9?
No, he's holding Spell Pierce. At this point, you're in the Spell Piercing on Brainstorm part of the game. Just make a bunch of 1/1s.
Well, no, I just mean that he's at. So if he plays the Mentor next turn,
he'll be at 6.
Yeah, that's close. I don't know.
So
that
Patrick's actually. Oh, I think you drew. That's a Stifle. That is not what you want to see here.
Oh, he's got Swords of Pressure, so we can actually buy more turns.
Yeah, no, you start targeting. Stifle's not at all what you want to see. That's fine, it resolves. I don't know why you really care about that one.
I mean, he did Brainstorm, so it's obvious that that's not a card he doesn't want, right?
I would more likely be inclined to target Mentor triggers.
For token making?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think either makes sense. Really matter.
If you can stop the Mentor triggers, I guess you might be able to race with the true name.
Because Greg's on 2 turns.
Well, I mean, there's Swords of Pressures in his deck, so he might be on 3 turns.
Yes, 3 turns. Well, especially if next turn he's going to be on I'm going to brainstorm, brainstorm, pay, Swords of token, and then your tokens are going to be 4/4s, and you're going to have 3 tokens.
I think Greg should just be fine with the Stifle. Like, who cares? It's it's annoying to not get to shovel that away.
I don't think you care. I think you say fine.
Every card in your hand makes a token, so
I would go fine, whatever. You can have it. I think he's gonna brainstorm in response.
I mean, if he does find a force, he can.
Well, then he's gonna shuffle. Then the fetch is still on the stack, so he's gonna shuffle away whatever garbage he finds.
Yeah,
looks like land on land.
It's brutal.
Patrick being at 17.
So the thing is, Greg is definitely drawing lands for the next 2 turns because I don't think he has a way to stop this.
This is just this
Yeah.
is one blue make it prowess token.
Yeah. So I don't know if he has enough gas to win. Well, actually no. Next turn he
He's
can.
got swords, so he can at least buy time.
Yeah, he can next turn swords his snap. Make
I
a
would
token.
swords a creature now because it allows him to not. Patrick can't bolt in response, and also that token's a 2/2. Because the token, if depending on how they stack the triggers, the token that entered may have actually seen the spell first be cast.
It definitely did.
So yeah, this is just targeting snap.
I mean, this does take him to a next
Take him
turn,
to 7.
and now his mentor might be able to just race.
That's a ponder. That's a good draw. Those are bad. Looks like land, wasteland, and Delver. No, that's an instant shuffle.
Yeah.
You can. The only one that makes sense is Delver. Because at least Delver can attack through the tokens,
Well,
but that's still not what you want.
Delver is, if it flips next turn, well, it won't if you keep, right?
Well, he has a fetch land to
Oh,
play.
okay. So yeah.
So you can at least put up the chance. Usually 50-50 in this deck with 28 spells.
Yeah. Andy, I don't think mentor is going to be enough here, because we know that Greg, or at least I think we know that Greg is drawing 2 lands for the next 2 turns. So
he has 5. He has 5 power, which is a 3-turn clock if Patrick is 15, assuming he has no spells. But he actually may have a Swords of Plowshares. The Swords of Plowshares is basically +2 power.
it's +2 power.
Gain 1 life. Gain 2 life.
Well, it's +3 power because you target one token that's already alive, and then the other 2
no,
is
let's get. Well, so you target 1. Yeah. Well, so you. Oh, that's a. Yeah. That's also why I don't like playing the Delver because it just eats a spell. So now you get hit for 9.
3 plus
9.
6 is 9. So that drops him to 6, and that's exactly how much power Greg has.
Do not think the Delver was the right play there.
If he was at 15, he's taking 9. That takes him to 6, doesn't it?
To take him to 6, yeah.
Because that's really impactful. Yeah. Okay. Well, he's fetching it.
I think they're off by 1, but maybe missed something. It's 2, 4, 6, and 3 is 9.
Yeah. Oh, he did gain 1. You're right.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you.
Was obviously missing something.
So, yeah, I actually want to draw Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, I guess if you don't draw Bolt, you can't attack, right?
Yes.
Or a blocker. I guess you could draw a blocker.
You could draw a blocker. That's a ponder. Let's go.
It's probably a bolt or a cantrip.
Bolt. That's a bolt. There we go. Easy. Rug doing Delver things. Let's go. Haha, how does that feel?
That feels bad, but...
Take that, Tundra.
So I think that's the game that you really have to get as Miracles, because that's the game where most of your swords are live, and a lot of the games where they have some like awkward, they have more bolts than they want to have.
Let's just say it gets worse. Frosty Storm. I actually bring in his surgicals. I do not bring Force and Negation. I bring the Wind Orb. Yes. Bring in the Pyroblast. Yes.
Looks like 2 Wind Orbs
and 2 Pyroblast. Oh, he's not on. Okay. So usually this deck is playing Sylvan Library, Cinder Vines, something like that. Also, Patrick not on Ren and 6. Ren and 6 probably not the best
card in this matchup for sure. So I guess what does he even take out?
You cut some number of bolts. You trim all your Delvers. You cut your Delvers.
I don't know if he cares about Force of Negation in this match.
I think you want it because at least the Exile clause is relevant against Snapcaster Mage, but most times you are targeting Terminus. That is the only spell that matters. And Council Judgment.
It's like he must have broken his sleeve earlier.
Yes.
Doing the annoying sideboard.
Oh no. I thought Patrick's like top 8 like 4 GPs. Like this is like a casual move. Come on, Patrick.
Well,
looks like 2 Force Negations, a Surgical, 2 Winter Orbs, and a Pyroblast.
I don't know that
I don't think the deck can really support more pitch spells because the deck runs really thin on cards as it is.
Well, he's on the draw, so he's obviously taking out the Daces. And he's
take out 2 Wastelands because you can still get them. I cut on some number of Bolt. I cut up the Dismember. The Dismember is horrible. I think he cut a Tarmogoyf. I think he is playing it. I saw Tarmogoyf. There's a lot of questionable choices for card arts here too.
Yeah. I think I agree that, yeah, jamming that Terminus was not... I think you wait one more turn
I mean,
to
you
have
can
a...
wait. Well, also, because you're at 15, you can just wait. You're going to
Yeah.
sit there. It's like, well, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm taking 3. Poke me. I dare you. I mean, yeah.
Well, no, that was when... Oh, yeah.
He's at 15.
Yeah.
Jams it at 15. And that's
So,
my strategy playing Miracles.
as Greg, I'm pretty sure you take out some number of the Swords to Plowshares, because I expect
them.
Patrick to go on the plan that he's going to have very few... He's going to do everything he can to not put a Delver into play if he can avoid it.
Yeah, I cut all my Delvers. As a reg player, I keep my threat package becomes 1 Cindervine. Sylvan Library is basically a threat now. And then you play
So-
your 3 Gooses and 4 True Names.
Yeah, so
And you
I
just sit
usually-
there. You play one and you stare at your opponent and say, answer this.
Yeah, I usually cut down to 1 Jace. I also cut the counter spells because I think they're bad,
Oh,
like
yes.
the actual counter spell.
Yeah.
I think,
Spell Pierce is still pretty strong. I like that one.
yeah, if you're playing Spell Pierce over Force Negation right now, I cut that. Or I don't cut that. Cut most of the Swords to Plowshares, and trying to think if there's anything else that's obvious in your deck that you'd want to...
If you're playing Teferi, I take that right out.
Yeah, that's probably
Kind
true
of throw it across the room. The card's not at all good.
in this match. I think, I do think that I ended up sideboarding out the Teferi so often.
Oh, I
With
said it every
everything-
single match.
Well, the mirror is where you want it.
That's it.
Yeah, so when that's the case, I think I'd just rather have an engine explosives.
I agree with you there.
Miracles might be the best deck, I'm going to say again. I think if Grixis picks up Narset as well,
It
which I've
has
been
been.
seeing happen, that might be enough to
Well,
win that matchup
So it's
again.
Grixis with Narset and Arcanist.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, David is saying the exact same thing, echoing us in chat.
Yes.
That's
Okay.
the one
I
thing
see.
that I think I'd be very afraid of. Also, I think now that Miracles has moved away from Counterbalance in favor of Narset, the lands matchup, especially considering they've picked up Blast Zone, has become very difficult.
Oh, it's Blast Zone and the Hall of Helio Generosity.
So I
that
think-
deck is horrible because they can also recur Seal of Primordia. They can just mill, just like, oh, here's a seal. Blow up your thing. Blow up your thing.
So right now, I'm trying out 2 Force of Negations. Personally, in the place where I normally have Spell Pierce, I don't know if I'm going to stay on that long term because it is card disadvantage. So that's obviously...
Oh, I see a Winter Orb in Patrick's hand.
that's brutal.
Okay, this is a good start. That's all that you want to do. Is you want to play your goose and then you sit there and you stare at him.
You have to, as Greg, so he did bring in his Disenchant. I'm good. I'm glad about that.
I mean, you have to bring a Disenchant because then you get Winter Orb.
Or what's the
Cinderbinds.
Yeah.
I do not see any Cinderbinds in Patrick's deck. I love that card. I love that card too much.
Yeah. But all 3, Cindervines, Sylvan Library, Winter Orb, all matter so much.
Yeah. Sometimes like you see this.
Brutal. That was a Terminus.
Sometimes you see.
So,
Yeah.
Greg left the counterspell in, which is an interesting
I
choice.
don't like it. Okay.
He's got 2. He's got both of his counterspells in.
Oh god. That's fine. Well, you just cash it in while you can, I guess. I'm from Patrick's perspective. He has another one. I'm just like, whatever, man. Whatever, man. You're not targeting my true name. AK is the news. Kind of like the.
Well, no,
It's not quite read. It's like the past 4 or 3 months.
I think the most recent list since Narset came around, a
they're-
good portion of
They're on back to counterbalance.
some are. I think a lot of players are thinking of Narset as their counter advantage engine. Narset and plus the few Jaces you have. So a lot of players have been cutting the AKs. I think locally here, it's such a grindy blue soup that still having access to AK is pretty common, I think.
Yeah, that is one way I've trashed some players in the mirror.
Yeah, people online get... I mean, it is bad in the face of an opposing Narset, but as long as you're playing the red splash to make sure that you can answer a Narset, it tends to work okay.
Yes.
This is why I really don't like counterspelling that Brainstorm.
You know, I think he's got a disenchanted hand that's gonna walk straight face first into a daze.
Unless he has a land.
Yeah.
Or he can try to be patient and disenchant.
Oh, blowout alert. Oh, dead. Did you see the combo? You can bounce your tapped land and then put it into play untapped.
Everyone. Well, you've got 2 lands in your Delver deck. Do you even put the 3rd one into play?
You gotta cast True Names in hand.
Okay.
Well, your opponent's gonna have 1 land, so they have no setup. So it has to be blind flip Terminus. I jam it because like Greg's gonna have one, maybe 2 mana next turn, and if he casts any spell, then
Yeah.
he's basically off mana for the next couple turns.
He can't set up tournaments anymore.
No.
You should have just let that brainstorm resolve.
Let's go.
That was really aggressive, I think.
This is how it goes.
I do love counterspelling a brainstorm, but not on my own turn going into
No,
that.
especially not on game 2.
He probably did. I don't know. We'd have to ask him.
I think see Patrick did top 8'd GP Las Vegas 2016 playing the Legacy event playing Rug Delver.
He plays a lot of GP, so
He does play
there's
a
a
lot of
decent
GPs.
chance.
I think he's got 3 or 4 top 8s at this point.
Is that another AK or is that a ponder? That's a ponder.
That is a mentor. That doesn't work. Can't really play that in a Winter Orb. So I see you, Patrick, with your foil geese. I got my foil geese too, and then they got reprinted, so I'm happy. He is not playing Ren Rug. I did not know Rens, unfortunately.
I think it doesn't. As powerful as it looked in that Maverick list, I don't know that it's what Delver wants to be doing. Like,
I mean, so
does let you waste
the sideboard of the Rug deck, you do
sometimes see
you know,
loam.
I play loam 60% of the time probably.
Okay.
Because it is very strong in fair matchups when they're playing multiple cards. You just like shoot all their lands, brainstorm them back. Very good in the lands matchup.
So it's probably one of those things where when it's right to play loam, it's probably now right to play Ren instead. But
I mean, I think it's very good.
But I don't know that it's so good that it's any better than when you're already playing Ren. That feels bad.
I'm gonna take this right now. If you are playing Dreadhorde Arcanist and Rug Delver, you are wrong. That is not at all how the deck goes. Yep, this is just Force Negation.
Yeah.
Pitch and Ponder. Oh, they'll put that in exile. Ha, combo. That's getting some value.
That's just so brutal too, because the Winter Orb, he now needs to blind hit Terminus, or he dies.
Yes,
wait, is that the 7th card? No, that's the 6th card.
But also, the thing is, if he blind hits Terminus, he needs to untap his planes, then he's off blue spells for the turn. Very nice. Very nice, Patrick.
Well, yeah, he does need to update his deck, but
let's go.
This is literally the first week that the paper cards have been legal, so he's probably picked them up today. So we'll see.
That's Rug Delver. Let's go. Rug is beautiful. I'll try to find a backup match.
All right. Sorry about that, chat. Muted to try to save your guys' ears there. With the headset coming off. Yeah, the Force of Negation only working on your opponent's turn is really awkward. And I think that showed a lot of the power of Rug Delver, and especially Winter Orb. I know that he has always said that he loves his Miracles matchup just because the card Winter Orb exists. So, showing it there. Alright, so it looks like we're getting some Canlander. There wasn't anybody in the right stage to swap over, but luckily Greg and Patrick are...
Yeah, we get to see some sweet stuff. We get to see some power, some goofy plays.
We get to try to identify what a card is that we haven't seen in years.
Yes, and also we get to take a look at Patrick's very, very high skill artistic renderings of Modern Horizons.
That is, it's gonna be fun.
Yes, I think Patrick is on the post-it style of Proxy. Very nice.
Can we even put that on stream?
Of course.
So he's probably picking them up today, I assume?
Oh, most likely. I mean, I picked up a bunch of cards for Canlander today. Got my caster discount, got a bunch of goodies.
I guess Canlander is the format where, I guess, what is it, CE cards are legal?
CE cards are legal, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. CE cards, but even CE cards are like too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, I just printed some off.
I like that. Narset moving from Miracles to Canlander.
I mean, it's like, okay, so the card that from Warthog that's actually busted in half in this format is the new Ashiok.
Because people can't search
Because everyone plays like 15 tutors and 10 Petulans.
to try to mitigate the. Yeah.
Because that's how the decks are built. Is you're playing 100 card singleton vintage decks. Oh, not quite vintage decks. So a high power deck. So you need to find your cards.
Interesting. I've been thinking about trying that out in some of like my modern blue-white control sideboards, considering so much graveyard stuff. Like obviously you've got to have the surgicals to try to get out of like the turn 1 or turn 2 nonsense out of the Hogak deck, but a good portion of the time they don't win with the turn 2 combo. What they win is just grinding you out with bridge.
Well, it's like I'm just gonna hit you one shine with my 2/1, sack them, get them back. Yeah.
Exactly. So I don't know. I think it might be worth it.
I think it's great.
Actually, it does seem great in Pox.
Yes, I think it's very strong in Pox.
I haven't seen Pox run. I guess last week when I sat down to change the thing for the first time, whoever was playing it the last match of last Monday night, must have been on Pox because that's what it read. In Legacy, Ashok and the Grixis sideboard, I can see that. So it only stops their own search effects, right? So like if you ghost quarter them or something, they still get the land.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Also, if you surgical them, you can still search their deck.
Okay. Really? Koval was playing Ashok? Ashok, check it out.
Interesting. Okay, some basic stuff. This land go. Raging Ravine. Ah, that's classy. So I'm not quite sure.
So this is Blue Moon almost.
I'm pretty sure Patrick's on lands, and then Greg is on moon.
Yeah.
That is a demonic tutor. Counter that one. That one seems pretty good. I think the fast spawn is recently unpointed, so that's usually the card the lands player is going to. Oh, that's brutal. Let me see. I can just update the.
Just like can lands.
Yeah, I'll probably just do that.
And this is Blue Moon on the other side. Can land Blue Moon. Alright, so back to basics seems great. He is stone raining himself in the process here.
Oh, who cares? You're playing against the actual deck called lands. I think now he's just found enchantment removal. You may see a Force of Vigor being cast.
Is that a Force of Vigor?
Channel Fireball. Okay.
Alright. I don't think you got a basic. I think you're probably right.
I think you have Force of Vigor. Got some sort of enchantment removal. Oh, that's a DAC. That's very spicy. I just got a Tabernacle in hand. It doesn't untab. It's horrible. This card's Pact of Negation. That's not Force. Pact of Negation.
And a non-basic land probably. Oh no, that's an island. No, that's a Fair Conclave.
That's tapped. There we go. That's better. That's a basic.
Probably searching.
I think you got a Replicate. Oh, a Tarmogoyf.
Interesting out of the lands. I guess you just do need to kill them eventually.
Yeah. Donk. Because the thing about Canlander is it's more like Legacy Plus.
No, it's more like Cube.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's constructed Cube is the thing that I've always heard it called, and I think that's pretty.
I'd say it gives from Patrick's Fantasy, Thoughtseize, Tabernacle, I think Raminap, Accelerator.
Weirdly, Goyf is actually a really good threat against this Moon stack. Like it's weird in Canlander, I think, but
it's always been good against red removal. That's the thing with Greg's on. You can see like Fire Ice, Disallow.
The expansion explosion.
Oh yeah, Oathbreaker is kind of an odd format. It's just like EDH with Planeswalkers. I don't like it. That's expansion explosion. He discarded Fire Ice, expansion explosion.
I kind of think I like having the ice just to make sure the Tarmogoyf doesn't kill the DAC.
Yeah. Also get draw a card. DAC minuses DAC ultimates at 6. Disallow. Countering Thoughtseize.
I think he has an Assassin's Trophy in hand.
I would definitely target. I would target probably the back to basics. I don't really care about the DAC that much.
Yeah, you can attack down the deck.
Steel spawns, yeah.
The fact that he's attacking it says that he's hitting the back to basics. Or maybe he's just going to ignore it. That'd be the other option, right?
I mean, yeah, he may wait till Greg's turn, so at least Greg can't take advantage of the untap. That's kind of risky playing too much of big counter spells.
It comes in untapped anyway.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no.
you're playing around counter
That's what
spells
you're
because he only has a mountain untapped,
Yeah.
and that's a scoos.
So he's just going to put threats in play and make Greg deal with them.
Yep. Donk.
Interesting fetch. I guess he had to fetch the swamp because it was marsh flats. I was going to say
That's a port.
that's not very good in the face of not doing that.
Oh yeah, oh, I control it back to basics. That's fun.
This is definitely a casual game.
That looks like Inferno Titan. I like that one. That's such a good card.
He's got Inferno Titan and Gear Hulk, so if he can hit 6 mana, he's got some stuff.
Yeah, he's got this old standard combo of Gear Hulk Disallow.
Old standard. It's such a new standard thing. Like, not current, but
I mean, it was
relatively.
2016, 2017. Played port. Oh, snap.
Snapfire, the
Fire.
Scoos.
Yeah, get rid of the Scoos. Goif is huge. That is a thick boy. Him. Very nice.
He fortuitously did pick up the double black. I think this is my least favorite card ever printed.
Him and Tarak?
Yeah.
I see you, Miracles player. You don't like people attacking your hand.
If it was discard 2, if it was just the card advantage, an efficient mind rat, that'd be fine. It's the fact that I feel like when I have one card in my hand that I care about, it always hits that one. Oh, that's so good.
Ooh, Jace.
That is a rip.
Rip.
Did he activate? He did activate the deck because there's 2 lands in the
He
favor.
showed an expert deck. He found the chase off the deck. What's the final rules? Excavator? This looks like an excavator. Get a land back.
How many basic swamps do we think he runs?
I think probably 2 or 3. He's on 2. Well, this is a 100 card singleton. So if you're on basically full 100 card deck, you can play anywhere. I think he's on Jund.
He cannot get that. Oh no, that's a Verdant Catacomb. He can't get that one. I thought he only had the Misty Rainforest in his graveyard.
No, the Marsh Flats.
Or sorry, Marsh Flats. Yeah.
What's the thing about these candidates? You can play up to like 10, 15 basics. If you're playing a 100 card deck.
That's true.
Like how many utility lands you're playing.
I
Boink.
like that Jace is just on bounce duty. For a lands deck, this back to basics has not really done much.
I may just be on like kind of Jund.
I mean,
Jund.
the stuff like, I guess stuff like Ramen App doesn't necessarily scream lands in this format. Since you do have to fill out 100 cards, you probably are just going to end up with some amount of that nonsense in a regular Jund deck.
Well, you probably play like 60 like Lance Matters cards or 4 other cards. It's like whatever. I play like 5 color Kiki in this format. And you have like 10 cards of combo, 10 cards that are tutors, and a bunch of just stupid value creatures.
Well, I know I've seen Kiki Pod before, and I know that most of the game, well, maybe at least the build that Greg has, I should say. So maybe that's not the standard build, but at least the build that I have seen the most of is first and foremost a Goblin Settlers.
Avalanche Riders.
Avalanche Riders deck.
Oh yeah.
And then only after you've messed up their mana base do you start with the combo plans.
I do kind of the same thing, but I do it with ramming up Strip Mine.
Okay.
So I spent my points on Strip Mine, and that one's nice. And yeah, so you play like Primeval Tides. You get to play like a pretty sweet lands package. You play like a Cradle, Caracas, Wasteland. You play Depth Stage. And it's like Primeval Tide, get Depth Stage.
All right, so we know he plays only 2 basic swamps because he had to pick up the Badlands with that.
I think it's a Badlands, yeah.
What's weird is he picked up the Marsh Flats, not the Verdant Catacomb. So He must also not have any more forests either, so he must be just on the
4 basics.
4 basics. If he is
I
indeed
mean,
a
I played
land,
0, so yeah.
if he is indeed a land stack, that would make sense. He wouldn't have that much space for lands that weren't doing something.
So I had that tabby in hand for a while. I wasn't really doing much.
Well, Greg's deck doesn't really put creatures into play if you can avoid it.
Oh yeah.
The pact or force negation.
It seems fine. Oh,
I
it's
mean,
impulse.
your Jace and or your Dak is going to die to this excavator. I guess not your Dak, because your Dak plus is again, right?
I think your Dax on 5.
Oh, dig. That's what it was. That's much better.
That one's very spicy.
Removing a bunch of creatures. I think, well, I guess the Goyf's dealt with, so it doesn't actually matter that it shrinks the Goyf by removing all of
I think the
his...
Goyf got spell snared.
Yeah.
What's he to get? I see a click in that pile. I see some like lands. Let's see what he's grabbing.
I think no matter what, he's losing the Jace. I don't think...
No, I think Jace is dead.
Well, unless he finds exactly Lightning Bolt, right?
Bolt, Flame Slash, Chain Lightning, any sort of thing like that. Also, I mean, whatever, like something like Incinerate or Lightning Strike is also live if he wants to tap his port.
Is that Chandra? That looks like Chandra. So his Jace is going to die, but
That
he's
is
going
a
to...
sensor.
Well, no, in his hand, I think he has
Oh,
Chandra now.
yeah. Why is
The
it?
4-minute Torch of Defiance.
Yes.
So
I
he
think
can't cast it this turn. But, yeah. So he is losing his Jace, but he's going to get a Torch of Defiance in trade for it.
I see an Ass Trophy, Night Whisper, some other random stuff. So yeah, Patrick's got some game here.
I think at this point he might just have to trophy the.
I mean, to think about the Dak ultimate, Greg just made just like on target and like non-lethal burn spells. I'm just gonna take that. Oh, take that too. Oh, take that.
Well, then you take all the basics, is what you do.
Yeah.
If you can, if you have Fire Blast and stuff.
Fire Blast.
Or any tap effects like Fire Ice.
Yeah.
Port even. Yeah.
Oh, so the thing about fire, you target two creatures on lethal, take both of them.
Yeah.
I say, as someone who's I've certainly tried to like run like some punch card decks.
I think Dak's only spells, right? So you can't port and take a land.
Oh yeah, it spells. I think it's spells. But yeah, and the thing about Dak is sometimes you're playing against Eldrazi, and sometimes you ultimate your Dak, and they have a Chalice on one, so you push their card, and it's lethal. The push will kill it, but then your push is countered where you get control of your card. That's Titania, Priest of... Oh, yes. Titania is a hot one. I like that. Every time a land is... So it's Titania is a 5/3 elemental. So when it enters, it returns a land. And then whenever a land goes to the graveyard, they get a 5/3.
I think it's about to get... Chandra, though. Well, actually, maybe not, because his other red source does not tap. He's only got 1.
Yes. I mean, well, if it dies, Patrick can fetch in response to get a 5/3 token, and
well, then you kill the token with the Jace.
Yeah.
That doesn't answer this excavator that's been ruining him.
It's just a currency value. Because I mean, Patrick seems to be out of basics. No basic mountains, or can't fetch mountains with the current fetches he has around. But yeah.
Alright, so he pitched, was that Pyroclasm? Or some sort of Pyroclasm
That's
effect.
Goblin Crater Maker.
Well, and he attacked, so I
think that's I don't know what that is.
Looks like a Pyroclasm to me, or some variant, volcanic
fallout,
some sort of red.
I see Chain Lightning in hand. Greg saw his full grip. I think it looks like a 6 cards.
The perfect draw here would be Anger of the Gods if he's playing it. It's like something like that could deal 3 damage as a sweeper.
I would assume Greg is certainly on a card like that, especially he's playing white on creatures and a bunch of interaction like that.
Because that answers to hit any land that, any tokens as well as the I know that he plays, I've seen him play Mizzium Mortars before. That would also be a clean answer to everything.
Oh, that one's triple red though.
Yeah, so he doesn't have that.
Isn't quite on that one.
5 mana, that's blue. What is that? Treachery.
Oh, I would just take that Titania, thank you very much.
Oh, that's how he gets extra red for Challenger now too. Because he floats a red in response to the Treachery
Very nice.
untapped.
That is very nice. Let's see if we can take advantage of the Tawny trigger. There we
Because
go.
now he can just kill the Ramanop Excavator.
Yes.
And then he's got a 5-3, they've got a 5-3. He can bounce the 5-3 with Jace. Oh no, maybe he's brainstorming.
He's brainstorm, but also that makes sacrifice to Jace. Well, he can just block and trade.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know what that is. Maybe.
He made 2 mana with Chandra instead of killing the Ramanop Excavator.
It's a token. It's gonna
But
do.
what's going to happen now, he doesn't know this, is that the Treachery is going to get trophied.
Yeah.
And then Patrick's going to get another 5-3.
Oh yeah.
He's got,
Oh no, the back basics are still in play, Patrick. Hold up. He untapped all his lands. I don't know what's going on.
this is a...
There we go.
He figured it out. Is that a Tabernacle in play?
That is a tabernacle, looks like.
Did he pay for any of his creatures?
That's actually a taiga.
That was a
You
Taiga?
can see like the ridge line kind of just
Oh,
like sticking in. Sun bleached? That's really interesting card.
Either that or it's the unspeakable P word.
Oh, the tabby's in hand, yeah.
Why would you Sunbleach that? It seems like throwing up. Like,
From money. I mean, I don't know. People out here whiteboarding, you probably a lot of time people get those cards. They see it in a game store, and
think it's funny.
no, they see it in a game store. The game store's like, some idiot sun bleached this. I'll sell it to you for $10, and they're just like, ooh, yes. Certainly.
I guess that's true.
I mean, let's see. If you've seen the rest of Patrick's proxies, they are a Sharpie on a basic land.
So you don't think that you think this is actually really a Taiga?
Yeah, I
Just
mean, if you take a look at it, you can see the kind of faintly there. You can see the ridge line you used to see on the original Taiga. I don't think he would put that much effort into a proxy based on the rest of the stuff.
That's probably true. Still just boggles the mind that anyone would still would Sunbleach one if that is neat. Or Chet's thing, playtest card.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, sometimes like people just forget
maybe
it.
that
It's a
isn't-
get frog.
That's not a trophy. The whole thing that
I thought that was a trophy.
that explains why he didn't answer the back to basics like turns and turns ago.
Oh, he's got a Horn of Greed. He's got a get frog. Such a sweet format. I mean, he could answer it. I see a green sun zenith, which I assume he has some sort of Knight of the Reliquary effect, or Reclamation Sage somewhere in this.
One thing that we're probably forgetting, this Drake might just be lethal.
Oh, the Drake's probably 15. It's probably 15/15 because that counts the exile too.
Yeah.
And so there are like probably 10 DAC activations.
If not, if Dak survives another turn and Chandra ticks up, like you can Jace bounce the 5-3. You can Chandra kill the Ramanop Excavator and then attack with your 5-3 as well. So he's almost certainly got lethal.
I think he's leading.
And that's a Night's Whisper.
Night's
So
Whisper. I think. Oh, that's a damnation. Oh, one short of casting
well,
that.
if he has a Black Source he can get, he's got the
Yeah.
Excavator. So if he has, we've seen Badlands, we've seen
Bayou. So he
Bayou.
needs that. Probably he may have a shock line in the deck he can get.
Yeah, because
The Overgrown Tomb.
yeah.
So I'm fairly certain.
So he's going to combat too.
Yeah.
Fetching in the middle of combat for some reason.
I think he just realized that. Oh, I should probably attack with good value this before I damnation. I think Greg just like, oh, he can have your Titania back. Like,
The thing about it is, if you damnation like this, I
You're
think
so far behind. So.
Greg just now has 3 planeswalkers to your nothing.
Yeah. I mean, he was out of that or he died to your 15-4.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the worst trade. That looks like an Underground Sea. Maybe on blue?
Huh. 4-color lands.
I mean, you get some
like-
interesting stuff.
It's right in the light, so I cannot see it very well.
Yeah. Patrick certainly does need the Elder Spell. That'd be pretty hot.
Yeah, now I think Greg's got this going away.
So he's got Mana Drain.
Yeah, this is over. Did he Jace before he decked?
Yeah. And he's gonna shuffle. He had it the whole time. Oh, he set up the Chandra. Just get that out of here. Shock you. Dak. Oh, this is.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah, so he's got click Mana Drain. Yeah.
Plus whatever was going to be pitched into the graveyard. All right, so that was a pretty sweet match. It looks like most of the tables are clearing up.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully
So yeah, what deck you looking to get on next round?
I mean,
You get Painter,
there
lands.
was we've had calls for lands, painter, and food chain that I remember from the
Ooh, I
chat.
like food chain. Depends on how
So
Aubrey's doing.
yeah, so I think we should definitely try to get food chain, painter, or lands, depending on who's doing well tonight.
Oh yeah.
Last I saw, food chain was 1-1 starting at this round. before
Yeah,
this
so
round
if
started.
food chain got a win, you want to put that one on?
Yeah, definitely. We'll do food chain first, assuming
And
they're
Painter. So
assuming
yeah,
they're still playing.
and Painter.
Painter would be cool, and then obviously there was a call for lands. Is there a land?
There's two lands. There's Lauren
and
and
Jim.
Jim are both on lands.
Okay, so we'll get one of those 3 decks on that that various people in the chat have called for.
Yeah.
In that kind of priority order too.
Yeah. I've not seen food chain in a while. I think we see lands semi
The
regularly.
thing about also lands as the round 4 matches are kind of a dubious proposition.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see any Stoneblade tonight, even though it was almost everything in the room was Stoneblade.
Yeah, I don't like watching. Something's kind of
The only other thing that would be cool to see, if none of those other players are available, would be the land tax deck. I think is always really funny.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, yeah, it's hilarious. Okay.
The
Okay,
Porphyry Nodes,
everybody.
Porphyry Nodes control, basically.
Yes. That one seems pretty good with the Hall of Heliod's generosity too. Keep rebuying your Porphyry nodes. Okay, people in chat, type the deck you want to see besides lands, painter, or food chain.
We're gonna try to get one of those guys on there
Yes. It's between those 3.
as the. Well, I mean, assuming they're willing,
assuming
they're willing to play on camera
Yeah.
and still playing and everything. But those are what we're gonna try for.
Exactly. It's exactly. Yeah, Stoneblade, boring deck. Whichever one is playing
I
against
guess
ants.
there is also the Shardless Rug.
How is Chris doing? I'll take a look at the standings. Chris, he's 0-2.
Okay, makes sense. I think the deck seemed really sweet, but I didn't think it seemed very good.
No, I
At
mean,
least, to be fair, it's on its initial iterations. Maybe people will tune it and it'll.
oh yes. It looks like he is on blue. It looks like a volcanic island.
And
And
that's Spell Pierce, so.
oh yeah, Painter. Standstill. I'm sorry, HC Fox. We do not seem to have standstill in the room. Paint. Okay, sure. So it looks like we got 3 painters. Food cabin. Standstill. It's like Huntmaster of the Fells in Patrick's hand. And Grover the Burn Willows.
That seems a weird. This doesn't feel very Landsy. This feels more Jundy.
Yeah, Jundy.
It's got it has the some of the lands matters cards, like the what's the 2/3 called?
Raminap Excavator.
Yeah, the excavator, and it has obviously this one.
Yeah, Green Sun's package has a Tabernacle.
All of these are also just kind of Junt cards.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, the thing is, that's what we saw Tabernacle. He probably has depth stage hiding out. His point. What do you think his points are, though? I don't know. I haven't seen any pointed cards out of Patrick's at the Intuition.
We saw DT.
DT. So I think it's just DT.
It's probably just tutors, honestly.
Yeah, probably just tutors. Because all like crop rotate, computation, Sylvan Scrying, those are all free.
Because yeah, Fast Bond is now free.
Fast Bond is free. Oh yes, Fast Bond Rami now. That's hot.
For a second I thought Greg had a Blood Moon in hand, but that is not what it actually is.
I lost my check. I think DT is 4. I will pull up the Canlander points list.
That is an Arc Trail. That's fun.
Ooh, Arc Trail is a very strong card.
And he's crop rotting so that he can get one more trigger with the.
He maybe actually be getting Sajiri Step here. That's a card they commonly play, and also can give Pro Red. Save his tracker. I mean, some of these decks, if you're legendary, they put the card Iganjo Castle. That was hot.
I don't think. I mean, we haven't seen any use for white mana, so the step would just be for the protection effect if he is having it.
Yeah, he may be getting Strip Mine here. Could be getting Fixing. Could be doing something value lands.
I mean, he is playing against the Moon deck, so he might just be getting
basic.
Basic.
I see Ren and 6 in there.
So
okay, points list. Let's see, Demonic Tutor. Demonic Tutor is 3 points.
So he just got a fetch land to go get a forest.
Yeah, Intuition's 1 point. Spellseeker's now a point too. Look at that.
That seems fair.
I mean, it gets you Ancestral Recall, which is a full on 7.
Yeah, so gets 3 clues. Yeah, he does fall to 18 from the Arc Trail and the Fetch.
Oh, that's Renin 6. That's a pretty solid draw.
He does have a Fetch land in the graveyard.
He also has a Cycling Land in the graveyard. He's
Does
got
he?
a great, the Canyon Slope. Ooh.
But he's also got clues already, so I don't know how important that is right now.
Maybe he'd be slamming Huntmaster here.
Renin 6 probably just dies to the
Wandering Ephemeral.
yeah, so it's probably not right to play.
Oh, that's Experimental Frenzy. Oh, okay, that's spicy.
And is that his
That's
bleach?
a Taiga.
That's his bleached Taiga again. Well, I guess we'll have to ask him if that actually is bleached, or if that's just some sort
Just
of
a
weird.
paper, it's just a badly printed. I mean, he looks like Greg looks like he's holding Jace here. You're holding Crackling Drake.
Oh, I know where his Taigas are. His Taigas are in his Rug Delver deck. That's probably why.
There's no Taigas in the Greg Delver.
Or
What?
not Taiga. Maybe it's not Rug Taiga then. Maybe it's
Yeah, Volcanic
Volk
or
or something.
Yeah.
But that's probably what those are. Is the lands that are currently in Rug Delver.
Yeah.
Since we can't see exactly which one it is.
Yeah, Jace.
Still-
Okay, well, currently Patrick cannot play cards out of hand. Play Deathray. Okay. Land. Dak. Okay.
All right, so the round is turning over here.
That was looking to be pretty sweet.
All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see, we got Kiesel or Aubrey in the top tables. Mike is.
Kiesel's on table 6.
Yeah, let's get Painter. Let's get table 6. Because I don't see
Aubrey's appeared to have dropped.
Yeah, so unfortunately Food Chain's dropped, but we'll get Painter on the screen. So table 6 if they want to play. Table 6. So what is he playing against? David Wada.
Let's take a look. Wada. He's Rug Delver.
So we're getting Painter versus Delver again. Your favorite deck.
Rug Delver is the superior.
So is he on Grixis or just you red Painter?
He's on Blue-Red Painter. He's not Grixis Painter.
And this is what did I say his name? His opponent, David Wada.
David Watta. W-A-T-T-A.
David. And this is. There's a lot of Rug in the room today.
Rug is best Delver.
So hopefully. Alright, so we are back to Legacy. Hopefully I'll have guessed right on which side the players are playing.
Okay, there we go.
We'll know pretty quick.
Oh, yes. Deathray Shaman is banned in Legacy. That is correct.
That was can land between rounds.
Yeah.
Looks like I guessed wrong.
I think this could swap players function.
But it doesn't swap decks, annoyingly.
Okay. Yeah, to anyone who is confused, that was not Legacy. Just coming to that was a can lander.
So we're just firing off between rounds to keep us all entertained.
Oh yes.
Alrighty, so timer starts. They probably will end up having a little bit of an extension.
You
Considering...
are Delver. Hold up. You are Painter. Yes.
Oopsies.
So Delver.
Autocorrect.
Yep. So of New Horizons cards, since you're on the watch, you're looking for the Rogue Delver. Maybe playing Force of Negation, maybe playing Renin 6, depending on what the pilot feels like. Mike, most likely playing Goblin Engineer.
Okay.
That's probably when that is probably the,
I guess,
only one I think he is on.
Being that it doesn't protect his combos, he's probably not playing Force of Negation, I would guess.
No.
That's not... You're being more proactive than that.
Yes. So also, you really don't care what your opponent's doing. You would much rather just kill them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Based on the fact that he's just the 2 colors, and he has a bunch of soul lands, he should be pretty well equipped to fight through the kind of mana denial stuff of Rug Delver.
He's a little weak to Wasteland, but at the same time, he has 6 blasts in the main deck. I think he's got 4 to 6 or something.
Last time, in that top 8 that he had 4 basic islands and a basic mountain.
Yeah.
So he can fight through Wasteland pretty effectively.
Yes.
He also has Lotus Petals, I think.
Yeah, but also I think he can fight through Wasteland, but a lot of the cards he's playing are 2 mana, where it's a Grindstone's 3 mana activate. He's playing Karn, just 4 mana. So he's definitely going to have to slow his deck down to beat Wasteland because he's trying to play 4 drops. He's supposed to play them through days. So that is certainly how the Rug Delver deck gets him, is he use soft counters to force Mike to play around Wasteland and soft counters, and he cannot do both.
Yeah.
But also,
because he's got Karn, he probably has Bridge on the board, so he
he
can
certainly that is one way you can lock the
just
Rug
like
Delver
auto
deck
win,
out.
right?
Yes,
Game 1.
that is an auto win game. That is an auto win game 1 unless you get a bunch of cards locked in your hand. But also, you can be bolted out.
And I guess actually you can be wasted into the point where you have cards stuck in your hand.
Yes.
Because he does have 4 mana cards like Karn that you could draw to.
Yes, and also all of Delver's creatures are most 3 power, so you can certainly get through it that way. And most Delver decks play 14 points of burn if they usually play 4 bolts and then another 2 damage burn spell. Either Chain Lightning sometimes gives you 15 points of burn, or Fire Ice that can always go to the face. But then I think the best thing Mike has, he has main deck Blast, which can really interact well against Delver's cantrips, counter spells, True Name Nemesis, and also can just target lands.
He's got
at
his
some
own
point.
Force of Will.
Yes, he is playing Force Will, Trinket Mage, potentially Fortune Negation. He is on
So
a
that
whole
looks
lot of blue
like
cards.
a very non-basic heavy hand. Well, I mean, I don't see a single basic land. I think I see Fetchland Volk, maybe.
But also, yeah, he's also on Preordained Volcanic. I think the Delver player is on. He's on Fetch, Goose, Bolt, Force, which is no blue card, 3 lands.
I think
so
that's fine.
That's kind of an odd place to be. I think it's fine, especially if you know what you're playing against, because Bolt's like one of your more important cards against Painter because you need to interact with the Painter Servant.
Yeah.
And also interact with Goblin Engineer or
Yeah.
Goblin Welder, depending on what the player's on.
Let's see how this. All right.
Oh, he had a fetch. So
He
yeah,
must
find
know what
this
he's
guy.
going to get. Well, I mean, I guess in the dark, if you can afford to fetch basics, you probably should, no matter what you're playing. Get him Goose Hand.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he doesn't really have ways to fill up his graveyard quickly. That's the one thing.
No, but he has fetches. But I think the way Goose is good is when you have Stifle Sulfurs to back him up, so you can disrupt their game plan while building towards Goose. Oh, that's a second force. At least his first force is now live.
Also, the bolt that he has in hand can answer this this painter that Mike just drew.
Yes, I think you fire that off as soon as you can, especially when if Mike taps out for it, which is probably unlikely, you gotta go for the painter while Blast is down.
I think Mike might only have one other land in his hand. I only see a Volk. I don't see anything else.
That's probably what he's looking for.
With Preordain?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely see a Volk. I don't think... Well, that's a Brainstorm now, so that at least helps find another one, potentially. Oh no, he has a Mountain.
Bouncing. Very
So
nice.
he's got a 3rd land, even.
Goose, far superior than Gurmag.
I mean...
Don't at me.
Not against combo decks.
Hey, you get it on turn 1. It's so much better than Gurmag. Nice.
Second Goose.
Excuse me. Goose. These are shroudy. Okay, now Goose recently unleashed into Modern. It is now Modern legal. It's not going to do anything.
You know what Stonewall's a Goose?
Death Shadow.
Trinket Mage.
Trinket Mage. I mean...
For now.
The Goose isn't loose yet. The Goose is being held back.
Actually, you know what Stonewall's is even harder? Painter Servant.
Oh god, shut up. Shut up. I got my Canlander deck back. Look at this. Look how beautiful this is.
Well, chat can't see it, so...
I know, but you can.
So, the other cute thing is that this Trinket Mage is going to make the Brainstorm, is giving it the shuffle effect, well, for half of his Brainstorm.
Oh, yes. I mean, but if... I don't know. Yeah.
Arcanist does Stonewall it. We didn't get to see that earlier because it was blue-red, not Rug, against the Grixis Arcanist control deck. But
so I think Mike's got the full combo. He has Painter Grindstone.
Yeah.
The shirt runs out the Painter. I think it's interesting tapping. I think it would be much more likely for him to leave the mountain untapped.
Well, he must have a cantrip then.
Yes.
And not have a...
Or a Spell Pierce Fluster Storm at
He's definitely got Force...
I don't know, yeah.
Oh, I think he does have Spell Pierce next to the Grindstone.
That makes sense.
So what can happen here is David might try to force it, then he's going to pierce the force, then David is going to bolt it, and he's going to force the bolt, and then he's going to Grindstone kill him next turn.
Yeah. At the same point, I'm going to assume that Painter Servant named Blue, so you could see some very spicy plays with forceful pitch lands.
Oh,
Because when Painter Servant's in play, you can pitch any card you want.
Wait, what happened to the second force? I thought he had. Oh, there it is. Just hidden.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got to play this.
Does David know that though? And did Mike name blue?
I assume he did because you can really break the symmetry on Painter Servant because
But,
you
I
play a
mean,
bunch of main
If you
class
already,
effects.
but I mean, if you already know that your opponent is playing a lot of blue spells,
Well, then you said that means you're Pyroblast live, which is probably your
no, but
best
they
card
already
matchup.
have a lot of blue spells. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like, you don't need to just name blue to make them live.
Yeah.
Is my point about it. So this is going to be interesting because if David if David realizes that he can bolt or that he can force twice, he's going to resolve this bolt to kill the Painter Servant.
Yes.
But if he doesn't, he's going to get combo killed next turn.
Yes. I think Mike does have the.
Oh, he just has 2 blue cards.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think he's got Stifle Brainstorm. Yeah, I think he just got a bolt.
His
you got
hand is
bolt
going to be
now.
empty. I think you just leave the force up to defend from the combo.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best.
Well, actually, I don't know. You don't, because your geese can't attack. So actually, I think I want to.
That only puts 6 cards in here. So I
No,
think
but
I would
like,
keep the Brainstorm.
The 1/3 is just blocking them, so I think you force now just to make sure that your geese can continue
Yes.
pecking it.
That makes
That's what I
sense.
mean. We are in round 4,
Brainstorm and response.
so you can go back to this. So you can go back and watch the VOD right after this round,
Yeah.
and you can see all 3 other rounds, plus
Yeah.
a little bit of Canadian Highlander that we did between round 3 and 4.
Oh yeah, but I think it's also more important to get the Painter Servant off the table because if Mike starts drawing blasts, he can start flinging them at your lands, and you
True.
prefer that not to happen.
It's Grindstone, Volk, Force, Trinket Mage.
Yes.
So the question is, does Mike, if David forces, do you force back as Mike?
Well, I don't know what else you're doing. I think you probably pitched it.
I guess, yeah, the Trinket Mage.
The Trinket Mage can find the Grindstone. It cannot find a Painter Servant.
So it's actually not that useful. It can find Walking Ballista is the only thing it can find.
Yeah, but what does Walking Ballista do?
I guess nothing.
I mean, it can find Engineered Explosives. It's probably the best card it can find right here.
That's true. It can find EE if he has one main. It can find
I think
Hope of
he does.
Gearber, which if he was in a different situation and just needed to fight through counter magic, he let it resolve. So now the thing is, now his geese can't attack. So even though he's not going to die on this turn, he's just going to eventually.
No, that's a Karn.
So Mike just gets to keep jamming.
I just jammed the Grindstone. Like here, Grindstone, pew.
And now you can force with the force of.
Let it what?
Oh, Stifle. He's got Stifle.
Why would you let it resolve? Like, do it again next turn.
Yeah, this seems very greedy.
Oh gosh, he's dead.
Well, he did Brainstorm. Does he know he has another bolt on top?
I mean, potentially. I'm not sure. But if he has a bolt on top, this is probably the best way to go because the Painter Servant is the better card of the combo. Grindstone's fairly useless without Painter Servant. No, Painter Servant at least has some sort of utility.
This looks like playing with fire, though.
Yeah,
so
this is way too sketchy. Do another force? No,
he
you
does
can't.
have a Brainstorm in hand. So he needs to find something with this Brainstorm.
Yes, he needs to find, I think, exactly Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, and you've already used one. I mean, you get another turn off a Stifle.
Yeah, but it's not. Well, Mike's at 18.
True Name Pierce.
No,
Days. You're
dead.
That was a weird.
No, this is bad.
So this is the second round that we've had some kind of strange play. So we had that Dredge matchup that was head scratching.
Oh yes, that was very odd.
So I mean, I understand. Actually, this doesn't make sense. So, like, yes, you get a turn off the Stifle, but what does that get you?
You need to force a Grindstone. You need to get that out of play.
Especially since if you force once and he blasts, you still don't die that turn.
Yeah.
And you can just not pitch the Stifle to buy you a turn after that too. Like it.
I mean, I would have forced the bolt through. I would have made sure that bolt resolves.
That's true. I don't recognize David's name, so this might be his first time playing on camera, for all I know. So let's see. What do you get? So Cindervine's your favorite card that you were bringing up earlier.
That's Destructive Revelry.
That's Revelry.
That's a Cindervines. I don't really Winter Warp Surgical. It looks like a Phyrexian Dreadnought.
I saw
Thanks to Stifle, not Sideboard Plan.
That's really kind of cute.
It's hot. It's real hot.
I don't know that it's good in this matchup, though, unfortunately.
I do not. No.
Just get bridged harder.
It gets bridged harder, but also it dies to Pyroblast.
Weird.
It dies to the Artifact Destruction. You probably do it in. Yeah.
I think we've got a lot of Rug Delver fans in the chat tonight.
Playing Tarmogoyf. Let's go. There's the main deck Renin 6. You can see it right there.
Main deck, interesting.
Main turn right there. Yeah. He's playing Goyfs. Goyfs. Yeah. I'm not the high end Goyfs right now. Ooh,
He definitely had some true names because we saw him draw one in the brainstorm that he died in. I mean, he wouldn't really be that so far behind because his opponent would have had Painter in play and he would have had 2 active.
You would have
Geese.
2 3/3s. You can start jamming. And the thing about Geese is they do not die, especially against Painter. They die to engineer explosives out of that deck, and that's about it.
So, I mean, maybe I believe you don't force twice. Maybe you feel like you need to protect either the brainstorm or the stifle, but you definitely force at least once.
Yes. I would have gone on to force the bolter. I would have made sure that Painter is dead.
Yeah, because that way your 1/1 Geese just keeps you attacks.
Yes. And also turns off Mike just like, oh, Pyroblast. I will counter any spell, blow up any one of your permanents.
Not the Geese.
Except the Geese, exactly. At the point like, oh, you have no lands.
Hard to fill up your graveyard if you don't have the ways to cast spells. Well,
Yeah,
yes,
at least the lands go to the graveyards.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a strange game. But now Rug Delver gets to be on the play, which is where Rug Delver always wants to be.
Oh yeah, that's when you get your days. Get your days going. The Stifle's gonna be a little less effective because I don't think Mike's on a full fetch mana base. He has a couple.
But he's got things like
he wants it for Karn.
Trinket Mage.
Trinket Mage, Karn is probably a good target.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, obviously it protects you. It buys you a turn against the combo. So, worst case scenario, it's not entirely dead there. Although, if you're stifling the combo trigger,
no, you're dead. But I think it's effective because it's mainly better against what's it called? Engineered Explosive, Karn, Tormod's Crypt, Ratchet Bomb. If that's something that probably shows up. Goblin Engineer. I would certainly stifle the Entomb part of that trigger. I mean, that is true. He's on the play. That is good play. I know. Okay, there you go. Bring in your own Pyroblast and the Painter and against the Painter to do it.
Now, in any match where
looks like a couple Ancient Grudges in there.
In any match where Painter expects the opponent to have Blast, you just name it green, right, or like some other card.
I mean, you do, but then especially you do that in this version deck because. Like the red-white, like the shortcake versions, they have no other protection besides their own blast, so you're more inclined to name blue and try to outblast their opponent.
I guess.
But in this one, since you're playing Forceful Flusterstorm Self-Pierce, you can just name green and still have protection for your combo.
Yeah, I guess even if he does name green, he did show you cantrips and Trinket Mage. Well, he didn't show you Trinket Mage. He showed us Trinket Mage. He showed you cantrips, and that's about it. That was blue that I think that he saw.
Yeah.
But also.
Self-Pierce.
The fact that he didn't force to defend the bolt does say that he might be inexperienced in the matchup. So he might just be assuming that Painter always names blue, and just like, oh, these will be great when my opponent names blue.
I mean, I still bring the blast in, especially against a blue Painter deck. You can fight Forcible Spell Pierces, Trinket Mage, etc.
He did. I mean, Mike showed him Basic Island, which does signify I have a lot of blue spells. Oh.
Yes.
Dreaded pile shuffle.
You get 1 per match now. All you get.
Is it 1 per match or 1 per game?
I think it's 1 per match. I don't know. I never pile shuffle.
Yeah, I never do it either.
I count my sideboard. I don't count my main deck.
I do it if I think I might have dropped cards.
Oh, okay.
That might be the only time I would.
Okay, 1 per game.
Although I still think it's just more efficient to count into a single pile. Just literally count your cards.
Count your cards. Yeah.
Alright, so let's see if he has a. Because his opening hand last game was actually kind of awkward.
Oh, this was like 4 lands. This was like 4 lands, Spell Snare, Bolt, Daze. I don't really. I don't Daze.
It looked like he was trying to get Mike to declare before he.
Yeah. I'm more than that. If it's. Okay, again. No. Judge. No, come on, man.
You're on camera. Alright, so what's Mike got in hand? Because I think he kept. I see Grindstone. He definitely has the.
The reason why pile shuffling was limited to once per match is because it takes a very long time.
And it's boring to watch.
It's boring to watch, takes a long time, and also it's not actually a shuffle. A pile shuffle only reorders your deck. It does not randomize it. So it is very easy to cheat, stack your deck, or mana weave using pile shuffles, where it is not possible to do so using match
I
shuffles.
don't think that's happening here, but it's just.
No, it's not what's happening, but that's the reason why the rule was instituted.
So that's fun. It's Volk double goose.
I mean, it's Ponder Brainstorm, so I think we're fine.
Yeah.
Oh, Wasteland is not actually the worst. Yep, welcome. Yeah, I mean, there were certain players who, anytime they would fetch, search their deck or whatever, they would pile shuffle, and that was just obnoxious.
I don't think I ever saw that. Okay, I think that's a shuffle.
That is a shuffle, has to be. I mean, you may potentially, depends what the second card is. If the, I don't know.
Is that a Delver? No, this is not.
Spell Snare. Spell Snare is actually a strong card in this matchup.
So you don't have another. Well, I guess you have to Ponder to shuffle away the
Yes.
true name.
I
So
mean,
maybe I keep that.
I keep that because I think it's, well, if you get a random card, it's 2 looks to find something relevant. Well, the Ponder is also it's 3 looks because if you look at the true name
2
again,
in a shuffle.
and 2 in a shuffle, yeah. Yes, that is correct. I'm morphing for one. Yeah, it is not actually randomized. You can reconstruct your deck in the order it previously was after a pile shuffle. I don't know. I just usually leave that. The Grindstone's fairly useless without the painter, so I just usually just leave it.
As someone who plays Miracles, I don't because it is not useless against me.
Oh
'Cause you
yeah,
can
no,
just
you're
grind.
Terminus, yeah.
Well, no, it's just also that Miracles has a slow enough clock that I've actually died to just all my win conditions being milled over. Like, it is a possible thing. Oh,
That's an ancient grudge.
Well,
You gotta shuffle though.
Yeah, he has no. He needs a trop really badly.
Yes. But yes, do you know what that's called? Poor deck building.
You don't need win conditions.
Poke him with your 2-1s.
Unfortunately, he comes equipped with 1/3s. Can't beat a 1/3. So good.
1/3s. Hey, you know who else is a 1/3?
Arcanist.
Arcanist, exactly.
All right. So what does he get? Is that the trop? I don't think it was.
I don't. Oh, that's a wasteland. So no, that's a miss. I think it's a hand you kind of had to keep.
He's got a
but it did
brainstorm.
not work
So
out.
next turn he gets 1 more look, or like 4 more
This
looks.
looks an ancient tune for Mike.
I think he. Well, I don't know.
Because his hand's pretty full. He's got Brainstorm, Ponder,
I think you
Force Away.
I think you just put the painter in off that.
Yeah, you just cast it. Why not? You got Force backup. You can pay 3 days. I just jam it. But he may be short on activating it next turn is the issue. Oh, he looks like he's playing Trinket Mage.
Oh, he can get Hope of Gearper.
Hope of Gearper is probably it. So if he's holding a Daze, I don't think this is probably the best Daze target. No, he's holding Snare and Bolt.
No, Pedal. Okay.
I mean, this allows Mike draws a land to then.
But if he just gets wasted, like what happens then?
Well, this means he can cast the painter even if he gets wasted.
That's true. But then how does he activate the Grindstone?
Eventually, red.
Interesting. I think he has to brainstorm now.
I don't know why you do that end step.
No, this is his main phase.
Oh, looks like he missed. Okay, brainstorm. You got to brainstorm. Cross your fingers.
Oh, he's leaving up the spell snare because he's afraid of the combo.
Man, that makes sense. So I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure Mike's got it covered though. He may not have another land.
I mean, he might just do 2-1 beatdown for a while.
I mean, yeah, if Mike doesn't have another land, I would not run into a day, especially like.
I don't like brainstorm now.
Yep. Well, I think he needs to find a land, but yeah.
Well, that's why I don't like brainstorm now.
I think that's a very good pierce from Mike. I would certainly do that even if the opponent misses a couple land drops.
I mean, Mike's much more likely to find a land off the top than Rug Delver is.
Rug Delver plays 14 mana producing lands. Then 4 wastelands.
Yeah. Is he gonna attack with his Trigger Mage? What's happening?
I think he's declaring combat. I don't think he's got a Daze in hand. I think he's holding Snare, Pierce, X, Goose.
I think you take the damage here and then bolt end of turn.
Why not?
Because now Now there's a window to resolve
Painter through
Painter
Spellslinger.
through some. Yeah. Although I don't think Mike wants
Yeah.
to be dazed.
I mean, he may
Oh,
have a
there's
daze.
a Delver, I think.
I would never. I don't touch that. I think that card just does not matter enough. Especially if you're 18 life. I'm like, poke me. The only life points that really matter are the last two, especially when your opponent is trying to mill you out.
Does Mike not have cantrips? This is a weird game. All right, there's the
Oh,
goose.
there we go. I think you play the goose here and kind of sit. I would not try to tap low, but you certainly have to get a threat into
If
play.
you're Mike, do you force it? Just to make sure you're not on a clock, because you don't have any lands.
I think that's a little aggressive. I would most likely try to play force to protect my own combo.
I mean, next turn it's a 3/3, right?
You are 18 though.
Yeah, that's true.
But also, let's say if you fight over it and lose, then it's a 3/3. If you don't fight over it, it could just sit at a 1/1
he's
because
playing-
if he doesn't have a proactive card to cast.
If you play the Delver off the green,
Oh god, I don't like that. I would certainly play the goose over the Delver.
did he brainstorm away the geese when he didn't have green?
Well, he didn't have a shot. He didn't have a shuffle effect, and
Yeah.
also I don't think the brainstorm resolved. Brainstorm got spell pierced.
So that's a fluster. It's still no lands for Mike. That's but no. I was going to say he can grindstone himself, but he can't unless he finds the third land.
It costs 3.
I think he has a bolt in hand.
Yes.
No, he used the bolt on the Trinket Mage. No, he does not have a red card in hand.
Oh, Mike is big whiff. Okay, found a ponder. I pierced this. I certainly just fire this off. They're both in missing lands. There you go. That is, I agree with
That's
that.
the Rogue Delver play.
Oh yes.
So yeah, I think I flipped the lands I tapped. Although I guess red represents more than green. So if you're not going to play the, if you're not playing the whatever it's called, the goose that turn anyway, if you're committed to playing the Delver, you might as well leave up the red land because it signals I could have a Power Blast or a Bolt or.
And well, the reason the green cards that matter in this matchup are Ancient Grudge Flashback and Cindervines. There's no real reason to hold up green opposed to red. Well, red represents Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast as very relevant cards in this matchup, but green less so. Even though I'm pretty sure he's on Destructive Revelry, which is a relevant green card, but that one costs 2.
This feels like a strange hand to keep for a deck against Rogue Delver. To keep a mana light hand. Like that's exactly how I feel like you end up losing.
Oh, yep. I think it's jamming the Painter.
And make him have a Wasteland.
I'm pretty sure Mike has Flusterstorm Forcible backup with the pedal up. Even if it's Wasteland, Mike draws any mana source.
Not if he has to cluster back.
Yeah, but yes. Yeah, that's true. That is
That's
a
just
land.
a land.
Did he pitch Ponder to Force? No, he pitched Trinket Mage.
But David is dead now. He's got 2 geese, a true name, and a snare in hand.
Yes.
So Mike just untaps and kills him.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
I think it people did a whole lot of nothing, but the A plus B combo deck usually wins that.
Yeah.
Eventually they'll assemble the combo.
I mean, he's.
Oh, yeah. Nope, just conceding.
Yeah, so showing him I had the snare if I had. To be fair, that was a little bit lucky by Mike because he. Coming back to us. He pondered and shuffled and found the soul land.
Oh, yeah. I think he plays 7 of them.
Yeah.
So I think it's not the luckiest, but I'm pretty sure. Well,
I still like the line of piercing the ponder.
I think you pierced the ponder because you know Mike's looking for the lands. You can tell no one played any lands. You cannot really interact with a land if he finds it, but you can interact with a ponder.
Yeah,
so I think I'll take up to
he got maximum punished by having his just happening to tap out. But
but also at the same time Mike had 2 forces. So even if he held up the snare and snared the pain, it's something that was not resolved.
That's true.
That was getting countered as well.
It was actually just kind of a flaw. It took him a little bit too long to find his green mana. And then his Delver didn't flip, and he just drew more threats that didn't which wasn't what he needed.
I looked at his hand. His hand was goose,
true name,
something, snare. Mike's hand was force cantrip. So it was force Trinket Mage, force something Flusterstorm.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
Mike drew all relevant cards. Well, other
Yeah.
correct on match.
Well, that was 4 rounds of Legacy action here.
Yep.
So we're going to be shutting the stream down now. Hope you guys watch it all. And if you missed any of it, go back to the VOD. We saw a couple of Modern Horizons cards
Oh yeah.
show up real
Some
big.
spicy ones.
Mostly Collector Ufas, I think the most.
That
just
was hot.
Hammer.
We saw 2 or 3. We saw 2 Ren and 6s show up. One saw play. One was
Yeah.
just kind of hiding.
One ended the game, so that was cool. But yeah, definitely go back, check it out. And thanks for watching.
Yep. Thank you. See you next month. There we go.
Oh, jeez, it's so loud. That went okay. I fixed it after that. For like 7 minutes. I started saying that way. I don't believe that.